we're going to go ahead and get into the recap. So, at the top of the last story moment, the family themselves were encountering the grotesque, ugly critter abomination thingy within the actual fort. They proceeded in, and a few of them, the smaller ones, the mischief makers, decided to hatch a plan of chaos. Well, the larger members actually decided to take up the fight against the now deemed Zeds and engaged in close quarter combat. Combat pursued, injuries were dealt, things were squished, feelings were hurt, and Nikolai blew up the entire party.
And the bad guys?
With Nikolai nearly wiping out the entire party and the existence of this entire campaign in one stroke. Actually, it would have been hilarious if everybody had died and they were just haunting him for the rest of the campaign.
Actually kind of funny. Everybody plays ghosts.
That could have been interesting.
With the debris of the building and the many deaths of the undead, nature soon retook the area and reclaimed it for what's hers. They searched the debris, the rubble. More hard feelings were had. More depression was had. Some useful items were found. Some experiences were had. Everybody reached level 2, which is quite exciting.
Yeah.
And everybody eventually headed back to town, weary, beat, distraught, disturbed, upset. And
Ready for a bath.
ready for a very nice bath. And eventually found themselves back at the tavern, where eventually they met up with Coin. And that's where we left off for the night. Yeah, you're all a bunch of troublemakers. Oh yeah, you also turned in the contract and gathered your bounty.
Yes.
And Mongo found out how useless he was. Anyway.
It's not fucking useless. Caused a lot of chaos.
That sure is.
What's
a
the
way to
fucking
come
plan?
Yeah, I thought that was plan. Cause chaos. I was like, okay.
Alright, so we joined the illustrious family in the evening at the tavern. Quiet thoughts in their head, some other more distraught than others as they sit and have a meal with Coin.
So,
Toss a cat to your coin. Wait, no, that's not how the song goes. Wait a minute.
What are you on about?
I don't know. I was trying to think of the song. You know the one. Come on now. I can't be the only one that knows. Toss a coin to a cat. Wait, toss a hat to a cat. That's gotta be it, right?
Coin, what's the name of that song?
Which?
The one she's talking about.
Oh, I know what that song is. Yeah, there's some very grumpy looking, gravelly bloke that runs around with some bard on another plane of existence talking about it. I'm not sure what it is.
Interesting. Right.
so has Mongo told you the story yet?
I just walked in. How could I?
Oh, I think you were already there. Sorry. It was a week ago.
No, it was just like, we just did this like a couple hours ago.
Didn't they tell her that story last night? I thought that's
No,
when
no.
we passed out.
Shell shock.
No. I'm just now here. Are you okay, Augie?
No, I don't think any of us are.
I have an honest questions for yous. Did you let the kobolds cook for you? I hear that can do disastrous things for the mind.
No cooking. I mean, we almost got cooked because somebody missed the cue.
Sorry.
Wait. Who almost died?
Oh, that
Yes.
may have been
Everybody
me.
but me.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I have exclusive rights to the story. We will talk about that in private and not at a table where other bards can take it. And this troll looks over and sits down his glass. Hey!
Well, I think I'm going to go upstairs, guys. It's getting late. Got stuff to do.
I'm sure we have a busy day.
So, you guys all look rather haggard.
I'm fine.
I've seen a mouse look traumatized from nearly getting eaten by a cat and a dog.
Oh, I've had that experience before.
You
Oh,
look
for
way
fuck's sake.
worse than that.
How many years ago was that?
Not
I'd
enough.
say we're even now.
Except you were trying to eat me. I accidentally blew you up.
Mother.
There's a big difference.
Mother.
Oh my god, he's conscious.
You fucking damn near blew me up.
I would say gentlemen, but you're children. And you're not civilized enough for that title. I have exclusive rights to this story. Don't you dare speak of them out in public.
Okay. That's what I saw. I'll go upstairs. Can't figure you want to go there. Fill my pockets with little treats.
I do believe she's suggesting that we shut up until we all give her the story upstairs.
Talking in public is a bad idea.
Unless you're a bard and you're getting paid for it. Then it's a wonderful idea.
Valid point.
Let's retire to your room.
Put nuts or a little piece of cheese or crackers in my pocket and start headed upstairs.
She hops down and walks for the stairs.
We don't know what to go.
And then grab a to-go plate of like a bunch of assorted berries and stuff. Take the room.
More cake.
Alright, so it's all handled, and you guys head back up to the room. So you guys head up to the room, and Coin heads in after everybody heads in. And she finds the most comfortable spot in the room again.
She takes my spot again.
Okay, and just plops on her bed.
So, revel me with the horror story of Nikolai nearly killing you.
Okay.
She pulls out a piece of parchment and
So, managed to cobble together this. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna call it.
Oh, the bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. A holy shrapnel bomb. Got all the way out there, which took a while. Missed a good nap time. And it wasn't quite the same as before. This time they had a very large, very ugly. What the fuck was
It looked
like
like
a giant?
it looked like a giant skeletal vulture in the face.
No, not that one.
No.
The other one. The one at the
she's
gate.
just
The one
sitting there
Talking about
making.
the
Oh.
big ogre blokes. Yeah.
Yeah, easily twice the size of these two.
It was
in
like
every
a 12.
dimension.
It was like a almost 11-foot tall ogre
Yeah,
looking
Big. Like, really big.
undead
Hulking,
thing.
hulking, terrifying.
Me and Mongo got around it.
Barely.
I got in.
He fell off the bridge. I had to save him.
Oh, no, that was the last time.
No, that was this time. You fell off the bridge.
Yeah,
Because
when
The big fucker took a swing at you,
yeah.
which you managed to get out of the way,
Yeah. And
but you dove off
messed
the
up the
bridge.
bridge,
Not your best tactical move.
It's better than
almost
being
got
flattened
killed
by an
by
axe that
said
was like 4 times my size.
undead.
It's just a sword, but still.
giant.
She just goes back to writing. Okay.
Augie and I shot it with the ballista. We called it the
I was
Mad
gonna
Jolt.
say, we managed to figure out how to load boulders into it too. It's interesting, but
Yeah, it
we
was
managed to kill it with ballista.
Scav's engineering, I guess is the word.
You owe me a new one, by the way.
Technically, some people refers to the kobolds as engineering as de-engineering.
That's fair.
But yeah, unfortunately, most of this adventure we were covered in yuck to try to blend in with the zombies, the Zeds, which was fucking disgusting.
At least you didn't get bitten by one.
This is true. I did manage to avoid that. Others can't say the same.
Shows off the still open, partially bite wound on my ribs.
Oh, well, you should go probably see a cleric about that, or a priest, or something.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Don't want it to get infected.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yes, usually open wounds are a bad thing.
That's true. Oh, you didn't clean it
I
already?
think, yeah, yes, I've been cleaning it.
Oh,
I took a bath. I used soap.
okay.
It's not easy, but I got the job done.
Oh my gosh, the most amazing thing happens to Cayenne. She gets a spell of Mage Hand.
It is very handy. Pun
Gets the
intended.
spell of Mage Hand, and suddenly she's able to reach all the places instead of just most of the places.
Oh
Come on,
dear.
do
For a
yoga
centaur,
no
that
more.
can't be easy.
No more yoga.
Coin,
Hmm.
what was in that cake?
It's referred to as a rum cake.
Oh, that's why I feel like this right now.
She searches around a little bit, and she comes over to you, and she holds up like what looks like a little pearl of some sort. She holds it out to you.
I'll happily take it. And
Eat
then go ahead and eat it.
You bite into it, and it's almost like a firecracker of heat going off in your mouth. And you just feel it singeing all the way down your esophagus to your stomach, and then it just feels like a bunch of like little pop rocks start going off in your stomach.
Oh.
And then suddenly you're just instantly sober.
Why the hell is that like this?
She's like, oh, there's one side effect. In about 5 to 10 minutes, you're really going to have to go to the bathroom.
Good to know. Well, shit.
That's the plan.
And this is the content we deliver?
Happily.
Happily.
Oh, but yeah, once Nikolai and I managed to sneak past the big undead Zed bastard, that's when the real fun started.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. Remember the outhouse? Oh my god.
I can't believe you did that.
Was it what?
Anyway, as turns out, we're quite good at pranking the opposition with high explosives.
Fire, explosives everywhere.
You know who else is also good with that?
Who's that?
Goblins.
No. That's interesting.
I met another bard, a fire genasi. They travel to the elemental plane of fire, and there's these crazy goblins that live there. They don't have a brain cell between the entire clan of them, apparently. Well, one of them apparently has 2 brain cells, but that's yet to be proven. But they're themselves, they're highly explosive. They're like walking bombs.
Well,
That
that's kind
sounds
of
terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
But like, if
Short
they,
fuse on them?
Yeah,
they just
Yeah.
explode,
they'll charge you and do stuff and blow up. Yes.
like they'll blow up themselves.
Yes.
Why would someone blow
Have a
themselves up?
high-charged personality.
Again, you might have 2 brain cells. They have 1.
I've heard of an explosive personality, but that's overkill.
But we found
So-
these barrels of high alcohol content.
Some type of wine or something. Yeah.
Probably dwarven.
Yes. Managed to move one of them in. What was the first one that we
It
blew
was
up?
through the front door.
Well,
it was like
Augie-
straight into the front door.
Augie kind of had to kick that one.
No, oh, you didn't kick that one. I moved that
Do a
one.
con check for me. As you're sitting there.
Oh, great. That's a 9.
So as you guys are sitting there talking back and forth about the events, you just hear this unearthly rumble come from Scab's stomach.
I think I'll be right back. Now I'm gonna go ahead and leave. Just quickly and straight to the point.
So are we saying the kobold may become incontinent for failing his con check?
Wasn't a 1. Not quite that bad. So,
Yeah. So yeah, I rigged one of those barrels of wine with a short fuse, pushed it into the front door, and blew it up.
huh.
And then amongst the chaos, our sisters got in and started fighting these things. And me and Mongo said, "Hey, well, maybe we can use the other one and put it through the back door."
Okay.
Blew up the front door, blew up the back door.
She goes back to
And
making
somewhere in
notes.
between, you got the bright idea to blow up the others.
I had
No, that was-
part
that was
of my life
before we blew up
essence
the front door.
stolen from a giant bird. I
Well,
watched my life leave my body.
hopefully we're the worst years that you've had that left.
And then after getting away from the thing, I cut one of these Zeds in half.
Progress. I don't know much about the whole undead thing. I kind of avoid it because I like living.
I never want to see him again either.
But there's rumors that once you kill said monstrosity thing, that your essence will return. So that's not a bad thing.
It was so cold. That made nature come back.
That's fancy.
Very.
She just writes this down.
I show Coin the drawing that Nikolai made.
She takes it. She looks at it.
See, I can draw.
She hands it back to you very delicately.
It is nice.
Yeah, it's like your size, but Coin could still look at it because she's not very big. So, what else happened?
Oh, the third bomb that went off, I guess, took out the big bird-looking zombie thing, and then I burned everything down.
That last one
Oh, yeah.
kind of missed your cue.
Well,
Your
I mean,
timing's a bit off.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
We were a little, all of us were a little closer to that than,
than was planned.
yes, we were on a way.
Land!
Yes.
It's a loose interpretation of the word, but yeah, I guess.
Did not plan to blow up anybody but the bad guys.
You could have given us a warning, could have waited for us to move.
I
but no.
thought Mongol already gave the warning That's
I did.
why I
We were on the
listened,
way out.
and I didn't hear any noises except for the zombies moving around. So I thought that I missed the notice, and you guys were cleared out.
The zombies were moving because they were coming after us.
But I wasn't hearing you guys. You make clumpy sounds. I wasn't hearing any of those.
Coin just looks over. Anyway, now that he's basically just insulted the entire party in his defense now,
You didn't insult anybody.
I've
Well,
listened to
wasn't
her.
like
She's
that.
not very clumpy.
No, when she walks and moves around.
She's not very clumpy.
He's two. Way
Well,
more than he is. He is and she is.
yeah, if you can hear the clumping, it usually means she's mad, and stay the hell away from her.
It means you're too close and you may get stepped on.
We can all personally vouch.
Yeah.
Getting stepped on's a bad thing.
I didn't hear anything but the zombies moving around, shoveling about. I was like, okay, I missed the mark. And I lit the bomb on fire. Oh yeah, I also put gunpowder on that one too.
Right, so you were purposely trying to kill everything that
Yes.
you everything.
Yeah.
She makes a
Because
note
everybody
of this.
was supposed to
It
be
was
out.
my bad in this instance because I was told by the druids I have spoken to that the best thing for the area was chaos and cause the most chaos possible and get rid of everything with chaos. Which we did.
There's too much chaos.
Yeah. At least the area is clean and nature's coming back.
Yeah, that was the kind of the biggest strip of the whole thing after all the blowing up settled down. And we were kind of trying to get our wits about us again. The funniest thing fucking happened. She just kind of started pacing, which she does, especially when she's in
A mood.
less than happy.
When I'm in a
Um,
mood.
Anywhere near you.
It's not
Not
always.
always.
True.
Only when Nikolai is getting very, very excited about his experiments and he's trying to show them off and he has a lot of energy and I can't handle it and I get overloaded and then I'm like, no.
Yeah, we don't let him have coffee that often.
No.
Little goes a long way. But it was kind of weird. I don't know if it was coming from her or if she was making it happen or nature was just kind of following her. But it seemed like she was just leaving a trail of grass and the like.
Huh.
Yeah, like where everywhere she had been, it started like growing back.
Interesting.
And I can shoot thorny vines out of my hands and kill things.
That's interesting. It seems like you guys are starting to figure out what you can and can't do. He seems like an expert about killing you guys.
I hold out the ball and open it up.
She watches it open up.
And start kind of going through the rounds of my spell book.
She's like, huh. That's a weird toy. You know you'll go blind if you keep playing with that, right?
Enough to hold that. We still can't figure out anything about this rock.
It's just a normal rock with a carving on it. It's not a great mystery.
She holds up her little paws.
Places it in her paws.
She looks at it, rolls it around in her paws. Huh.
The librarian I talked to called it a rune. Excuse me.
Well, some rocks or runes do hold power. She shakes it a little bit in her hand. Huh. She's like, Okay, I have a theory. She goes over and holds it up to you, Cayenne.
I take it in my hands.
Feel anything? Anything at all?
Not really.
She takes it from you. She goes over to you and drops it in your hands.
Still just a rock.
Just a rock.
Takes it. Goes over, drops it in your hands.
It's a rock.
She takes it, goes back to you, Augie.
Holds out her hand.
Yeah, she drops it in your hand. Does its little hum thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you? Anything?
It's vibrating and humming. You can't see that?
She just got blown up.
You might have a special. Well, the rock might have picked you, or vice versa, or something along those lines.
It's a rock.
Are you sure it's not the explosion that hurt her brain?
Pretty sure.
Not this.
Scav got a bow. Look around to see if he left it laying around.
I'm pretty sure he's carrying it with him.
Maybe on my person.
Okay. She looks at you. She's like, I would get that rock checked out by someone that's an expert in whatever that rock is. I'm guessing it's some sort of, as you said, a rune rock.
You know, I think the librarian said something about going to another town.
Oh yeah, there's many of those. They
Yes, of course there's many towns, but they didn't really say which one.
well, the
But
capital.
they did say the next town over.
They might have information on something like that. The capital city would be a good place to check.
Capital City, isn't that like on the other end of the continent? That's what that
Well,
one told me.
there's High Town, there's Midtown, there's Low Town, and then there's the Subtown. It's big. Subtown is really cool, but don't go there alone.
Is it underwater?
No. It's subterranean.
Ah.
That's terrifying.
It's quite an interesting place. But like I said, don't go there alone. Have some friends to go with you.
I would be pretty interested in learning what kind of creatures live there, though.
The subterranean?
Yeah.
A lot of the more interesting people tend to foray there. That's where they have the legalized black market.
Legalized black market?
Yes.
Wait, so when you say interesting, do you mean interesting like her, pointing at Cayenne, interesting like him, pointing at Nikolai, and just going around the table?
What?
Or do you mean interesting because they have, shall we say, interesting lifestyles?
The Undercity, or the Sub-City, is actually run by Udis. He's a bard. He's also the current ruling person that nobody wants to argue with. He also happens to be, as they call, a beholder.
A what?
Oh, well, he's a floating... The best way to put it is he's a floating piece of meat loaf with a mouth and a giant eye with several stalks coming off with more eyes.
That's
That is
What?
horrifying.
That sounds like a ball of... What's it called?
Yuck.
Spaghetti? Gone wrong?
Oh, the flying one.
Yeah.
Such a good reference.
Yeah, that sounds like spaghetti or whatever that dish is called gone wrong.
And don't even ask if I can get you an audience with him, because that's a no.
Udis is his name?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a spaghetti monster?
He's a beholder.
A beholder. Okay.
there's a flying spaghetti monster. Got it.
She starts looking through her pack and finding and looking around and everything, and starts She's gonna rummage around in her current person and see if she actually has any references. You just hear her reaching in her pack. She sets down a book, another book, another book. She sets another book, gets a giant key, turns it in the book, pulls the key out, sets it down, and opens a giant lock and starts going through it. Closes back up, gets a key, relocks it, sets the key on top. She goes through about like 6 or 7 books. Then she finds another book and she opens it up and she starts going through it. And she turns around and she shows you what a beholder looks like.
Oh dear lord.
Oh. That doesn't look edible. Are you sure it was Sketty that you were thinking of?
These, I've heard from a few fighters that have managed to get away from one. They shoot all sorts of crazy things out of their eyeballs. One of them even claimed that one of their friends was turned to dust by one of them.
Out of their eyeball?
Yeah. Each eyeball does a different thing, apparently.
You're crazy.
I'm not of your kin, so I can't be crazy. I'm glorious. You just have a discount of me traveling with you.
Oh.
Discount? Excuse you.
Look at you.
I know, I'm fucking wonderful.
Shim Shem, running around in rags.
Okay, look, I have been trying to get fucking cleaned up after all that disgusting covered me from head to fucking toe. And some of it just is not coming out.
Oh no, you're perfectly clean.
Yeah.
You just have no sense of fashion.
I lean over and smell him and go, ugh.
So, is there any more to your tale?
Let's see, we told you about the ogre, told you about the explosion, told you about
The other explosion.
the
and then
bird
explosion.
creature.
Oh, he got a bow that was bigger, but now it's sized to him.
Oh, yes, that's referred to as a magical item.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
He's still in the bathroom, I think. Are you making all sorts of sounds in the bathroom?
That depends. How far away is it?
There's a shared bathroom in the middle between both rooms.
Probably not, to be honest. A little cold bulb.
He said there sounds like a dragon murdering a party.
If you mess up that bath, Augie is going to have words with you.
I think Augie's hammer is going to have words with you.
Augie would probably experience fear for the first time upon opening the door.
So wrong.
And that's how the party got really traumatized.
That's how Scabbard cast a level 9 spell. Toxic Cloud.
Oh, wow.
The wood is literally just turning black and peeling.
Oh, God.
How
Like,
we're
you can just
killed?
see the individual fibers fraying.
Alright, so Coin gathers her things, puts all of her books back.
Oh, I did promise. Magic shop.
Bolts.
Bolts. That I would tell her about the exploding javelin thing that we made.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have the story. I'm going to rewrite some of it. Some parts might be reduced, some might be embellished. I will take my leave and I'm going to go find a very comfy place to sleep.
Okay.
And she heads for the door, opens it, and heads out.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
And as the silence fills the room, the exhaustion of the vents start to weigh on each of you. What are you guys going to do?
Take my spot back.
It's warm.
You better.
Tyann's already on her bed, so she's just gonna collapse on over.
Is it like that horse that just sits down and just?
Yep.
I'm gonna do some maintenance work on my machine before going to sleep.
Okay. Do you eventually find your way out of the bathroom, or do you just fall asleep on the toilet?
Probably gonna just sit there in the corner and cry. And eventually fall asleep just there in the corner with a towel.
Don't Elvis on the bathroom, please.
Oh no!
Well, at least there's a place for it all to go.
Nah, probably eventually make my way back to the room, just fall in the bed.
You are in the room. It's literally the divider between the two rooms.
Oh, I thought I was still in the bathroom. Okay, well, fine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but the bathroom is between both rooms.
Okay, now I get it. That makes a lot more sense.
Rooms, bathroom.
She literally just said the same thing.
It's all right.
All right. So, as each of you find yourselves in bed, asleep, the night passes very uneventfully. You toss, turn, each of you, the thoughts of the previous events going through your head, different scenarios of how those events could have gone playing out. You are haunted by the events more so than anybody else. You wake up here and there throughout the night.
I'll go over to check to see if Mongo's still alive, actually.
Yeah, you proceed to check to see if your fellow party members are still alive.
Yeah.
The dreams are rather vivid to you as you see them dead, dismayed, limbless, murdered,
Burned to
impaled, crisp.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
eventually,
Yeah.
we do find ourselves in the next morning. And each of you wake. Some of you a little bit more baggy-eyed under from lack of sleep. He looks disheveled for once more than usual. And eventually, just without really saying anything outside of good morning to each other, you each just kind of head out the door and go your own different directions for once, just to kind of discover yourselves a bit. And with that, I'm going to ask everybody to go ahead and leave, except for you, Augie. Oh, please! GTF4 so I can yell at Augie in private. Now comes the real emotional trauma. It's not the friends we made all along, it's the trauma we all share along the way.
Yeah, something like that.
Alright. This is going to be a weird scene for everybody to look at.
Yeah. Sorry, it just switched over for me to
Yeah.
seeing everybody away from the table and just me on the table.
1 sec. Did that fix it?
No, we were fine. You can go to the other seat. What are you doing?
You know, I'm just futzing around trying to fix a few things. There we go. Let's see. Alright. So, Augie,
Yes.
you head downstairs from where you're currently at. Oh, look, you're on the screen all by yourself. Isn't it terrifying? Alright, let me see if this is actually fixed real quick. Okay. So, Augie. You head downstairs by yourself. the events of the previous day kind of weighing on you, and this rune just kind of jolts around in your pocket a little bit. What are you going to do?
So it's actually moving around in my pocket, or it's just
Every once in a
humming,
while,
kinda
every once in a
vibrating?
while, it'll be like a Mexican jumping bean and move.
Fun. Okay. Well, I've already gone to the library, so there's not much I can do there. I don't really know anybody else in town that may know about my new trinket. So, Augie would go back to her roots,
All right.
training for the day, and seeing if she can pick up any new tips from Crumb.
All right. So you go over to see Crumb, essentially.
Yeah.
All right. You work your way over in that direction, and you head into where Crumb is currently working. And you see that he is there, and you see that there is this like massive, almost 10-foot dragonborn there as well.
Damn. All right.
And this dragonborn, you get a glimpse of their they're wearing full heavy plate mail, with a few layers of leather and scale mail as well. And they almost look like their scales are made of like stone. Even some of them have chips and cracks in them as well. And they're currently just talking to Crumb. They have, and Crumb looks past the guy and looks over at you and just kind of glances a little bit like, I help you, Augie.
Well, I was just, I see you're busy, but I was just passing by to see if you had any time to give me any more tips or tricks on smithing.
More smithing tricks. I think we can expand on that. And the Dragonborn looks over at you and just kind of sizes you up a little bit.
This smile, almost sheepishly, but she's still trying to keep composure.
The Dragonborn walks over to you and stands and looks down at you, and then just grabs your chest plate and kind of lifts you up on your toes to see eye to eye.
Hey, hello.
They tilt their head a little bit. What tribe are you with?
My own?
So you're a
I don't have
deserter.
a tribe.
Huh.
A deserter? No.
A Dragonborn with no royal name of any kind, or even a lesser house name.
Well, I was told my family name was Silky.
Has no association to anything that I know.
Okay. Well, I had to desert anything when I never belonged to anything, though.
They just lower you back down. They kind of size you up a little bit and ask if you actually. They look at the hammer you have and they're like, "Do you know how to use that thing?"
In my own way, I've swung it around a few times. Smashed a few skulls, actually. And I'm a little upset at myself for how much I liked it.
The Dragonborn just smiles.
Sorry, I'm just imagining this big, imposing Russian dude that has the smile of a gentle giant.
This big giant Dragonborn, yeah. Let's
But
see.
yeah, we had a tussle with some bandits and apparently the undead. Interesting foray.
Huh. And you survived without actually knowing any sort of combat experience.
It's safe to say that was my first real one. We had a little tussle with some of their kin earlier before we came to town, but in the past week, yeah, that's safe to say that's the only true one.
So the Dragonborn looks at you and looks to Crumb. Kind of, he looks at Crumb, then looks at you, and he's like, Crumb, I wish to take this unbound child and teach them a few things. Do you mind if I take them? And Crumb just kind of motions a bit and just shrugs like a little bit. And this large dragonborn just kind of motions for you to follow. Come along.
Okay.
So,
Very visibly flustered.
like, I wanted to learn how to do more blacksmithing. So, you follow this dragonborn, and they're rather quiet, except for the occasional, moving of their armor. They weave through the town past a certain point. You've been to much, much deeper into the actual city itself. And you get to what basically looks like a slightly dilapidated house, but there is a flag hanging outside the front of it. And you can see that there's various like sigils of different houses that are on this, or different clans. Some of them have been yanked off and torn off. And you do see some rather rough-looking individuals coming and going from this place, all bearing their own scars, different kinds of armors, and things like that.
All Dragonborn?
Huh?
All Dragonborn?
No, they're all different races, but they're all dressed in kind of the same manner. You can do an investigation if you want.
I would like to. Sorry, new keyboard, so I have to adjust things. Ooh, that's ugly. That's gonna be a 7.
A 7?
Yeah.
You're more you're more like kind of a bit, I guess, worried than paying attention of like, am I going to die? Is this a halfway house? Am I going to die? But alas,
I already have a home.
you head inside and you can see it's like a lobby area. It's not the best well-kept area, and you do see some more younger people there, in their teens, much like your age, but they're cleaning the place. And you do see this this person's in there, and she's just watching them, and she has this like billy club in her hand. She's like, if I inspect this place and it's not clean, I'm going to beat the clean into you.
So it is a halfway house.
And the Dragonborn heads past and pats her on the shoulder, and she just kind of looks at him a little bit. And you head through these double doors past the front entrance, and you see there's like this massive open area with all this different kind of equipment. And you see fighters of all different kinds of classes and rank and stuff, sharing advice and talking amongst each other and training. And the Dragonborn just walks in and motions outward, very happy. Ah, home. Then smacks you on the back.
Ugh. A home. Very nice. Rustic. Rough and tumble company.
These are kin. These are fighters. Of all sorts. You seem like a fighter as well.
I mean, I'm good in a little rumble, but a fighter?
You see a gnome walk over wearing leathers, and they have a sword and a shield. I want a piece of you.
Right. But you are only a piece of someone else.
Come on, step in the ring. I'll make you short.
She's looking back at the Dragonborn, looks back at him, back at the Dragonborn, back at him. Alright. Tugs her hammer along.
So you step into the ring with this gnome, and they set their sword aside and they grab a wooden one, and then you see that there's like various wooden weapons.
Oh. Sets her hammer on one of the weapon stands, pulls off a wooden sword.
The fighter just kind of smiles a bit. And this gnome has like all sorts of scars. Like they've been in a lot of fights. And they're like, all right. So, you are going to fight me. Big fight. Let's see how quick you are. All right, go ahead and roll initiative, Augie.
I'm here, done.
The die just runs away and says no.
It almost did. 19.
19? Pretty good. So, as you contemplate this for a moment, this little half pint that you just made fun of moves forward. Well, I think a 22 does hit.
Yeah, 22 will hit.
And as you go,
she's not wearing any of her armor right now.
Yeah, as you go to bring your guard up, this little gnome just slides on their knee and just brings the sword around right into your shin, and just cracks it.
You little bastard!
And then as you go for to hold your shin, they move around behind you, right underneath your tail, and hit the back of your knee on the other leg with the sword.
Oh, so it's just end in round 1. Okay.
I rolled a natural 20 on the initiative.
Oh. Okay, then.
But as you go to one knee, you feel the stinging pain of both the hits in your legs.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn. The gnome looks at you. Best of 10 hits.
Alright. She's gonna come around and try to swing at his head now that she's at his height.
Alright. Fighting on your knees.
That will be 16 and 7. What's 16 and 7? Gosh. Brain went burr for a second there. That'll be a 23 to hit.
That does hit.
Fantastic. And you said we're just going to hits, not actually doing damage?
Yeah.
And after that, she'll get up and take a couple of... Well, she'll get up. Can't take a couple steps away yet.
Yeah, that would be an attack for opportunity.
Yeah.
As you bring the sword around and just cold cock him across their face, and you can see like a red welt along their cheek. They're like, oh, okay. They watch you get up, and yeah, that would hit you. They move and they go right between your legs and bring the sword up in an arc and hit you right on the underside of your tail.
Oh no, that's just rude.
And they kind of step away a little bit, waiting for you to retaliate.
Take a couple steps forward. And you know what? She's actually going to throw a kick in there. She's going to throw a kick at his chest.
All right.
That is another 23.
That does hit.
Fantastic.
You
Both
get
hands on the sword. Set up her stance.
you knock him flat on his back and he slides a little bit on the ground and he tumbles and gets back up and he's like, all right. He runs at you and you kind of brace for it because you're expecting some sort of cheap shot from this little half pint of a fighter. And just as you're ready for anything, they bring the sword down and just smack you right across your toes. And they just kind of smile a little bit at you.
This guy really is a little bastard.
Your turn.
Oh, God. Actually, hang on. Fighter of second level. I have the bonus action now, don't I?
You should, yeah.
Well, she's gonna kick with one leg and then bring the sword down as the bonus action.
You're just like, I'm gonna go for all of it.
Yep. So that's a 21 to hit?
Yeah, you have your action surge.
Yeah. That's
all right, that hits.
Oh. 14 to smack him with the sword, though.
That one did not hit.
Yeah.
So you get him good with the first one, then he just dodges out of the way with the second one. And he's like, okay, we'll play this. And, oh god, I'm so sorry.
You had a crit, didn't you?
Yeah. So, as you stand there, they kind of come up, and they jump on your knee and work their way up to your shoulder, and just double hand bring down the sword right across your nose.
Oh, that actually hurts me thinking about
just
that.
A loud, sickening crack right across your nose.
Oh.
And it just rings in your entire head.
Oh.
And then as you start to reach up, they jump off. Oh god, almost another crit there. Because I just burnt their action surge too. They bring the sword around and just cold cock you right above the base of your spine in the back of the head. Sending
that
you
should be hit number 10, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, just about. But yeah, you just feel your entire head just ringing as you tumble forward. Everything just kind of blurring and blacking out and warbling in and out.
She's half tempted to go for her hammer.
Good try. I think I got a nickname for this one. Boots.
You bloody what? Oh, where are you?
You
looking around, trying to get her bearings again, just holding her head.
Your bearings start to come back around, and you turn around, and you do see the Dragonborn standing there next to the gnome, and the gnome is just all smiles.
Mm-hmm.
Just snarky little smile. And the Dragonborn walks over to you, pats you on the shoulder, this massive, giant hand on your shoulder.
Mm.
And you're just kind of standing there a bit, and you see,
Ugh.
and you feel another hand touch your, like your back shoulder blade, and you just kind of feel like warmth go throughout you as, your vision just clears instantly. And, as
What
you,
the hell was that?
and as you look around a little bit, you see this, lizard folk, and, she's wearing full plate mail and, chainmail, and she looks at you, and she's like, that was me.
Oh, very nice there. Ugh.
You should watch out for the little
And-
one.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, you're good. She was just giving you a forewarning.
And you are?
She's like, my name is Ella. I'm a
Ella.
lizard folk. I'm also what they could refer to as a paladin.
I see.
I currently just residing here, and we paladins and clerics do cycle through here to make sure that nobody dies in this home. As it's a fighters guild, and they do get rather rowdy, especially on drinking nights.
Is today a drinking night? Because I'm pretty sure that one wanted to kill me.
The short one,
Yes.
he's using a wooden sword. You haven't seen him with his two-handed sword.
No, and I don't think I want to.
She smiles a little bit, and she's like, I'll leave you guys to your business as I've got others to attend to.
Well, alright, thank you very much.
She heads off, and she immediately goes over to someone as you hear a loud sickening, "Yah!" Someone just, their arm is flopping like spaghetti in a weird direction.
Oh god.
But it's like spaghetti with a bit of celery mixed in grinding.
Mm-hmm. So, is that what you do here? You just beat each other up?
The Dragonborn laughs a bit. No. Well, yes, no. We exchange information on to better ourselves as fighters to better serve our nature. Whether it be our clan or family or ourselves or blade for hire. You seem to be amongst those soon-to-be ranks, judging from your appearance and your mallet.
Well, I do try, I suppose. I mean, I try to be imposing so that my siblings don't get hurt.
The gnome's like, see? Actual fighter.
Just very quietly, I don't like you.
The gnome looks up at you. I like you. You got fire. The Dragonborn does show you around the actual area, and then the various like rooms and teachings and stuff, and actually fleshing out a little bit more than just the surface that you saw in the initial coming in and fighting a gnome. That and there are like areas where people are sitting around and discussing things and various actual paths that you can go down as a fighter, whether working for the city or being a mercenary for hire or working even for the Hunters Guild. And this, and you kind of stop for a moment. This tabaxi is pointing to a very crudely drawn, almost like if you were to think about it, the same quality as that your brother Scabbard would have, drawn in crayon. of like being a bandit, bad. Being a good fighter, good. On, and they're just kind of pointing with a wooden sword to each of the drawings.
Are they like teaching a class? I take it.
Yeah, of other fighters.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he eventually eventually kind of guides you to another area, and you see a basically a high elf. She's sitting there, and she's got all these weapons in a half circle in front of her.
Mhm.
And she's like, "What?" And the Dragonborn just kind of puts his hands up, like surrendering. He just backs out. He's like, "I've brought someone to talk to you." And you hear the door
Listen,
close.
Jason, you're just gonna leave me here.
And
I
you-
do that.
And you hear the door close behind you.
So as she's turning around to
Yeah,
try to say, "Wait, what are you doing?" He's just gone.
yeah. The big Dragonborn's like, "Nope." And the high elf, she's like, "Look, I'm not going to hurt you. Unless that's what you want me to do, and then I'm going to have you pay coin for that."
I don't have my coin for that kind of service. Thank you, though. So, I guess I'm here to see you.
She kind of stands up a bit, and she's not really wearing much armor, and she walks over in your direction, and she's actually rather short for a high elf. And it's kind of odd seeing her for a little bit, because you're familiar with whenever you see a high elf, they're kind of like high and snooty, and
Mhm.
but she has like almost like a fro hawk. She has a few scars. She has earrings. And she's like, "Huh." And she walks over and she just reaches in your pocket and takes out the room.
Hey! Those are my personal belongings. That's not very kind.
She's like, "You're in my home. I can do as I say. Or want. This spoke to me, so I'm investigating it." She kind of rolls it around in her
Sorry.
hand a little bit, and then she's like,
It spoke to you?
"Yeah. Are you not listening to it?"
Just kind of hums at me.
"It's trying to talk to you, Dragonborn. You're not listening to it." I don't have the grounds to actually educate you on this subject matter, but I can at least guide you in the right direction. Is that something you're interested in?
I would like to figure more of this out.
Do. This class is so fun. Okay, let's see. I forgot one thing. She just kind of rolls the rune around a bit, looking at it. And she walks over and she goes down to a knee and she looks at the various weapons that she has laid out. She just kind of smiles a little bit and she's like, "Okay, this is rather easy. Come sit next to me." And she holds the rune back out to you.
Take the room, sit next to her.
Put in both your hands. Think about the humming.
Okay.
Close your eyes. It shouldn't be too hard, but clear your mind.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you're still a young fighter. There's not much going on up there.
Grumble, grumble.
Grumble, grumble. She then motions a little bit, and I need you to make a will check.
Okay. Oh. I don't even have to look at my sheet. That's a 1.
That's a 1.
That's a 1.
So as you kind of do that, you focus on the rune a little bit, and you feel ice cold air bustling against you, and you start swinging your limbs wildly as you fall through clouds.
Oh, jeez.
And you could have sworn you were just in a room with this elf, but currently you're falling through clouds. And you're grabbing at the clouds as you fall, and you move a little bit, and you just hit stomach first right into fresh powder and tumble down the side of this very large mountain a little bit through fog and a snowbank.
Mm-hmm.
And as you gather yourself a little bit, the cold just sinks into you, almost down to your bones. And you look up towards the very peak of this mountain, and you see this massive cloud giant with a forge working on something, and it just stops for a moment, turns and looks down the mountain in your direction. You can feel its gaze upon you. And then suddenly you're back in that room with her, and you can feel the warmth of the room. And she just looks over at you, waiting.
Blink a few times, just check my surroundings, see if I'm actually here again. I'm just... What just happened?
She just kind of tilts her head a little bit. She's like, did you listen to it?
Listen to it, it screamed at me.
Oh, that's a good thing. Well, you saw where the rune came from.
Some big dude with clouds and... Very big forge. And then I was tumbling. And then I hit this white powder, and
That's
just
snow.
so bizarre. Yeah, I know it's snow, but it was so bizarre.
There's
I
many
don't know.
more of those. Each of these runes are created by some sort of giant. This one, I believe, is a cloud.
That would make sense. That would explain the clouds.
She just smiles a little bit, and she's like, there's a few others out there, but they're not of my expertise. And she just kind of shows you the rune that she has, and it looks quite different than the one you have.
Take a look at her room. May I?
Yeah, she holds it out to you for you to take it.
Pick it up and look at it.
As
From
you
odd angles.
look at it, it vibrates violently in your hand, almost like trying to contain something, and you could just feel the energy just coursing up your arm, almost painfully.
And immediately put that thing back in her hand. Okay, never mind. Thank you.
Just like, you're still quite too young to handle that one.
I see her.
Why don't you spend the day, meditate with me a little bit, and learn a little bit about what we do?
I think I would like that.
She motions for you to take a seat. Very much just like a very relaxed style. Instead of, like the fear-inducing of the other Dragonborn introducing you, you can see that she actually rather welcomes you as almost like a kin. That she doesn't really have a relationship with anybody else in the entire home, but she does take you in and starts to teach you about what she knows about the runes from her point of view.
Mhm.
So, Augie, with that, we will move on to another person.
Alright, thank you so much.
Alrighty, you have a
Want me to
good
close my
time.
camera?
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
Alright, everybody, I'm just waiting for a few moments here. Hi, Jizzy. You alright?
I prefer to go closer to last, but
Huh? That's mine. I didn't know you wanted to go closer to last.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is fine. It's really chill. Alright?
I've not given any thought to anything at all.
That's okay. It can just go where it has to go. I'm pretty sure you want to go back and see the druids anyway. Or something along those lines.
Something nature related as far away from people as possible.
Yep. Alright. So, you head downstairs from the room, departing from your siblings. You see a few of them go out the door and in their own directions, and then you eventually leave the tavern yourself into the open world. It's a bit overcast for the day. A little bit of raindrops here and there. The streets are rather deserted as it's still early in the morning. The sun's still coming up over the ridge, barely visible through the clouds. And the day is yours. Where do you want to go?
Without thinking much, she's just gonna take off at a gallop and get as deep into the woods away from people as she can.
Alright, go ahead and roll a nature for me there.
That's a 9.
A 9? You take off at a full gallop and lose yourself a little bit. The trees and everything move about you, and you just keep running until you're exhausted. And eventually you just kind of stop because there's no more running left in you. And you see that a good portion of the day the sun has creeped across the sky, and you find yourself back in that familiar area that all the events took place. You can see the debris of ruins. You can see a few city guardsmen there. You see one of the druids there as well. But the most striking thing that you see is that the ground is slightly caved in, and you can see that there's almost like this twisted, gnarly tree starting to grow out of where that death was. That it's intertwined with the pieces of wood. It's intertwined with what was left of the bodies, turning them into fertilizer.
Approach the druid.
And it's a druid you've never seen before, and they turn around and they look at you, and it's a different Furbolg. They almost kind of look like a Highland cow in a way. And they had their horns, they curve up, and you see all these trinkets hanging from their horns. And they have a gnarled staff, and they look at you, and they're like, "Oh, greetings."
Hello. I haven't seen you before.
I come and go, and I came because of this.
Do you have any idea what's going on? The tree wasn't here last I was here.
And the druid turns a bit and looks at the tree. Kind of stands there for a few moments. You almost think they fall asleep because of how still they are, and they kind of turn back. You know, some trees just kind of come and some trees kind of go. Especially when they get up and they walk away.
Walking trees?
Treants. They're, oh, and there's also the dryads.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Nature folk. Representations of literal nature. Oh, and then there is the mushroom folk.
That sounds mildly terrifying.
There's a variety. Don't eat them.
No.
They turn back to the tree and they look at it. How long ago was this?
It couldn't have been more than a day. My days have blurred together since seeing the shambling bodies here.
They turn back and they look at the tree. It's peaceful.
Was the oddest thing that happened the last I was here. I walked in a circle and then nature came back. It followed me and now it looks a lot better than it did.
They kind of smile a little bit and they're like, nature's blessed you with their gift. And you can see a few spores floating around them too. And they just kind of smile. And they're like, it's beautiful.
It is.
And they motion for you to get closer, and a few of the guards just are like, yo, don't cause any problems. And the druid just ignores him and just walks over and just touches the tree, as a druid does.
I'll just follow them.
And yeah, you can go ahead and roll a nature roll if you reach out and touch the tree.
I'm gonna follow their movements basically, because I'm curious about this tree.
Alright.
So that was a 14.
A 14. You reach out and you touch the tree, and it's like listening to all your siblings argue amongst each other when they're in the full toil of it. You hear all these different voices and conversations going on at once, and it's a lot of miscellaneous noise. You can't really make out, like, you can make out words here and there, parts of sentences and things.
Being a little overwhelmed by this, I'll pull my hand back a little bit and just rub the bridge of my nose and my temples, like, oh, that was a lot.
The druid's like, pardon me, I should have warned you. That you're listening to those that have passed here. They're fleeting moments. They'll be gone in time, but for now they're trapped here in the tree.
That's very interesting. Does that happen with all trees or just specific ones?
It happens when there is turmoil and then nature reclaims that turmoil.
So all the basically shambling bodies are trapped in this tree now.
They nod and all these things just jingle a little bit.
I don't know if I should feel bad.
The druid just looks at you. Oh, they'll pass back when it's time.
Yes, but I'm the reason some of them met their final end. I don't know if I should feel bad about that or not now that they're trapped here.
The druid just moves a little bit, and they just kind of lean on their staff some. Cool. And one moment, I'm checking something real quick. Come on. Oh, hey, there we go. Cool. That's working again. I'm so happy. This would take a lot. The druid just kind of motions a bit. Happy. And they just kind of switch around their robes a little bit, and they take out like this rolled like herb, and they light it, and they start puffing on it. It just rolls over, and you're very familiar with the smell. And they hold it out to you.
I will partake in that.
Oh, it's very potent instantly.
Oh. What is that?
Special blend.
I'll reach in, take some of my pouch of giggles and offer some.
They take it and they just kind of bow their head a little bit. And they kind of smile. They're like, in this plane of existence, it's actually customary to exchange our gifts.
Yes.
And they take out a small little pouch of it that's bundled up, and it's got like wrapped in hemp, and they hand it to you.
Thank you.
So the druid just kind of motions a little bit, and you should be proud. You've carried out nature's work.
I am proud of that. I just wish that all that violence didn't have to happen. Even though my brother almost killed me and my siblings, I'm happy that things are back to normal. Ish, if you can call it such.
And they just kind of smile a bit. And you kind of see like kind of climb up onto the shoulder. You see like this mushroom, and you don't know if it's what you smoked or if there's actually a mushroom there. And it's got like almost like like a drippy kind of cap on it, and these like beady black eyes, and it's like,
huh.
And they just kind of motion a little bit to the tree, not really sure if they want to say anything, and they just kind of go back into the robes.
I'll look back at the tree and touch it one more time.
Go ahead and roll another nature.
That's a 22.
22. From what you had actually partaked in, you touch the tree again, and you're getting the conversation a little bit more clearer, and you're kind of able to parse through them a little bit better. And you pick up on some things of like, before the necromantic type of creature killed them, you can hear the final thoughts of people begging that they don't want to die. You can hear the pain and sorrow, and to a degree you can feel that ebb through your own existence. And you just kind of feel that flow through yourself a little bit as the whatever this druid gave you just kind of eases everything to be a lot more clear instead of rustled up. But as you pull your hand away, you kind of actually do get what they're saying about you did a good thing, that you've released these trapped souls essentially from the suffering that they were going through.
Cayenne will just smile from that.
And the druid just kind of watches you a little bit. To be young is a gift.
I guess you can say that.
You carry burdens, but those burdens are good burdens to carry.
I mean, I do carry around a few of my siblings. They're rather small. When some machines break, contraptions break, I'm the best mode of travel. The Pony Express, if you will.
That's a quaint term. And they just kind of walk with you a little bit, walking away from the tree. And they just kind of look at you. Where do you see yourself going?
I heard mention of an island where all of my kind come from, and I've only met a few other centaurs in my lifetime, and I want to know more. That's at least my plan. I want to learn more about what it is to be a druid and do things with nature, protect it. But I also want to learn about where I came from, possibly find a family member in the future.
They just kind of smile. I was traveling through the crossroads. I didn't catch the name of it. And there was one of your kind there. He was rather grumpy. I did not approach.
I've heard my kind are rather rambunctious and grumpy and violent, and they resurrect themselves after a bloody battle once a year, which does not make sense in my brain, but to each their own.
Different kin celebrate life and death differently and do different things. I once watched a species referred to as lemmings jump off a cliff.
How is that species still around?
Carefully. You have to redirect them.
Use something shiny?
Or using nature's gifts to guide them in a different direction. Speaking of nature's gift here.
Yes.
So the druid walks into the forest with you to their camp, and you see you see like all of this moss hanging from like an actual like branch that's been lowered down. Not broken, it's just like the moss just grew there. And they kind of, water it a little bit and give it some fertilizer. The actual circle for the fire is made from stones and just fallen logs. You don't see any wood cut anywhere at all.
I'm just gonna gently pet the moss.
It's oddly very, very soft to the touch. And that one familiar mushroom that you saw before, you see it kind of scurry over to the where the campfire is, and you see it just pull out like a piece of like old discarded cloth and puts it on a stick and it's almost like they're coughing up like a loogie, and they spit on it and instantly just burst into flames, and they just stick it into the fire and just start the fire up and start stoking it.
It's a new one. Is that called cap?
That's not cap. That's I don't know what that one was called. He joined me on the travel. Pension for fires.
An arsonist. Okay.
Apparently his kind like fires. And you just see it kind of scratch its head a little bit, and you see a couple of sparks from the actual cap.
Huh. Yeah, in my experience, fire is not fun.
The circle of wildfire would argue that point.
I see the importance of their circle, but fire for myself, I don't want to wield it or use it at my disposal. My brother does that enough, and I have enough fur. I'm a fire starter.
You're kindling. Just see you just running through on fire, just setting everything on fire because you are on fire.
Yes. I would burn just as well as a sheep.
You as you settle in with the other druid, they offer you some food and some guidance and offer you a chance to get some of your questions answered. And you can hear the pitter patter along the actual leaves as rain starts to come down.
So I've only learned a few things with Circle of Spores, and I'm still learning. Can you explain to me in a little bit better, and I'll show my jar, what exactly do I do? Because I've only ever experienced being able to be defensive by shooting a vine at something.
The druid just kind of smiles a bit and takes another puff of their special mix. It's actually quite easy. You just listen to nature, and nature will provide her gifts to you. If you want to change out your arsenal, so to speak, simply pray to nature before you depart the world for the evening, and she might bestow them the next morning. Nature is always listening to her children, especially those with her gifts.
This is just all so new. I just remember, like it was yesterday, that I was with my siblings in an orphanage where we're from and just causing mischief. Now we are helping out with two problems in a new town, and now I can do things I haven't been able to do before.
The druid motions a little bit and nods some. Odd beginnings to even odder life choices. They motion for your jar very gently.
I'll offer.
They take it. They look inside the jar. They open the lid and they hand it back to you. They're like, talk to them. Ask them to help you.
I'll look at my jar, very perplexed, because I don't quite understand all of this, and I will look down and say, can you help me?
At first, you don't really get a response at all. And the druid kind of looks around a little bit and finds a little bit of like actual like decaying meat they have. And they hand it over to you.
I'll look at it and very gently drop it inside to see what happens.
You kind of it's almost like a symbiotic thing. You can see like little, like it's starting to just quicker than usual take over the little piece of meat and just kind of it starts to quickly decay into the actual. You have to tend to your nature's gift. Ask again.
I'm sorry for not speaking to you guys and taking care of you more properly, but can I get a little help from you guys?
As you do that, you see the little spores, they actually start to disembark from where they're resting. And they come out of the jar and they kind of float around your head in some sort of weird little halo.
This is very new.
The druid he kind of looks over and he's like, he grabs a staff and he taps it a few times on the ground and you see the ground move and you see like bones starting to come out of the ground. And then you see like flesh crawling, like the muscle and flesh crawling across it. And you see like this little boar there and it just kind of looks around confused a little bit. All right. Don't worry. It's okay. Now ask your spores to assist you with this.
May I get some help with this board, please?
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna send you something real quick. There you go. Oh God, this is gonna be great. All right, go ahead and roll that damage for me. It should be a D4.
I'll do this. That is a 3.
All right. So you see the spores, they kind of dance a little bit. And you see the boar just kind of sitting there, still looking around. It looks over at you, and it immediately starts to, like, rile up a little bit. And the spores just instantly hit it and just start moving across its face. And you can see the flesh is melting away from its face as they start to devour it. And the boar lets out an unearthly squeal, and the druid just kind of motions, and the boar just disappears, and it leaves at decay. And all your spores just kind of leave and just kind of go back to floating above your head.
Huh. That was really cool. That the melting part was terrifying, but that was really cool.
They will help you when you need it. Just ask them.
Just gonna hug my jar gently.
I love you, Jar. I love Spore.
Thank you, guys.
And I sent you another thing. The druid begins to teach you very slowly about this next ability that nature has given you. It's a little bit more complicated to wrap your brain around. It's going to take some time for the explanation to settle in. But they just ask you to basically focus essentially on some sort of thing that you would like to assume. You can go ahead and roll a nature.
That is a 17.
All right. That is actually a really interesting ability. So you see the spores, they kind of float around you, but they almost seem to huddle closer to you, providing some sort of actual protection. He picks up a rock and he throws it at you, and the spores quickly move in that direction to try to keep it from hitting you and prevent some of the actual damage. And he once again summons another boar, and he asks you directly to go ahead and attack it.
I will ask the spores to help me with the boar.
All right,
again.
Go ahead and roll your attack.
That is a 1.
A 1. You go to swipe at this boar and asking for an attack, and you end up like slipping on a loose rock in the soil and just completely head over kettle onto the ground. And the druid just looks over. Ha ha ha. That's funny.
I sometimes don't have the best moments. Stand back up.
Go ahead and try again.
I will ask my spores to help me again. One more time. With a 4.
All right. You go to you don't use your weapon. You go to punch this boar, and you see the spores move from around you to actually your hand itself. And as you punch it, they seem to like protect your hand, but also spread onto what it's doing. You can see them just eating away at it a little bit from the attack. And the druid just smiles. Big, goofy Highland cow smile.
Gonna continue to, I guess, attack the boar.
Alright. Basically practicing a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A combination between using my hooves and asking my spores to help.
Okay. You carry on for a while, and they just, produce more boars as need be. It's not really an issue. They just kind of burning spell slots over here. It's okay. No, it's not really an issue. And they just motion. They're like, go ahead and use your fancy stick there. Your staff. Your glaive of doom.
All right. She will take a stab at this boar
All right.
with an 8 to hit and 12 damage.
You bring the staff around. You're still not quite used to it yet, and you lunge forward and you slightly miss the boar. But you can see the spores actually move down along your arm, twisting around the actual staff to move to the blade tip of it.
I will do it again.
All right.
$17 to hit
Oh yeah.
with 13.
With 13,
Mhm.
you bring the glaive around again, and you thrust it forward. You catch the boar right between the actual eyes, and you just watch as its head is cleaved into two, and where there would be a lot of blood, you see the spores basically just absorbing that, eating away at the actual wound from the blade part outward. And you just retract the blade and just watch as the board just falls over. Oh. Here goes another one. Luckily, they're really mindless. Especially that one now.
You don't say.
And you just see it basically just crumple into like decaying leaves, much like the other ones. Let's see. We also have that too. Cool. So the druid works with you for a good while into the later in the day and into the evening, eventually getting food prepared as well, so that you can learn more about how to actually hone in these abilities and actually how to properly pray to nature as well. Is there anything else you would like to do?
There is one thing I am curious about, but I've only heard stories about it. Have there ever been any druids that have been so corrupted just by things that would be considered a lot darker?
There are stories of ancient druids from around, as the normal people call it, the first fall. Two sister druids, one was deemed good and one was deemed evil. They both, in the end, gave their lives for the betterment of everyone. Us spore druids could be considered corrupted to some degree, but with that in mind, our corruption brings peace and balance. So both sides are good.
I had just always been curious about that because this interaction with what was here just ruining those people's lives was terrifying.
I do believe the term that they refer to that is necromancy.
Is there any way for someone to use necromancy for good?
There are quite a few clerics that do such things, as they're referred to by their people. Clerics speak to the gods, not nature. It's a fine line to walk.
That experience just, it was so just reeling that that's all I can think about was trying to talk to that puppet master of sorts, and it was just nothing.
My best course of action would have cleansed them from this plane of existence, as they have no place here.
I will bear that in mind the next time we have an encounter like that. I'm pretty sure this won't be the first.
Yeah. The druid sits with you for a while, and the little mushroom just goes about its business, complaining about the water in like some weird language you can't understand. It's a mushroom language.
Very chatty.
He looks at her. He doesn't like the rain. It's sitting underneath the lean-to, just kind of just like almost pouting, not happy about the water. And as the night goes on, the druid offers you shelter there instead of traveling back on your own. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call it there. So, Mongo, you find yourselves wandering downstairs. Oh god, I'm doing the munchkin. And you head out the front door. It's overcast. A few droplets of rain here. People are slightly scarce. However, your siblings have departed in different directions without really seeing anything. And you kind of take into yourself that you have the day to yourself. What are you going to do?
I do still have to promised Holt I'd tell her about the stick of boom that we made.
Alright, so you're going to head over to Pulse?
Yep.
You work your way over there, and you head into Pulse's shop, and she's there. She's just kind of going through a few papers, a few documents. If she sees you come in, greetings.
Hello again.
How are you?
Still alive.
Well, that's better than being unalive.
Yes, quite sure. Remember that potion that you the warm one?
Yes.
You asked me to let you know how that worked.
Yes.
I'd have to say quite well. We also wrapped a couple of things around it that might have punched it up a bit.
Listening.
So, as it turns out, in the camp, there were a couple of things of undead walking around.
Alright.
And as we found out, they don't like things that have been blessed by the holy people.
That seems about normal.
Grabbed a rather large handful or two of just bits and bobs of metal, had them blessed, put them in a bag with a potion, bit of gunpowder, wrapped the whole thing up, attached it to a stick, and launched it out of a very large crossbow and took out half a fucking building.
There's a spell that does that without any extra effort. It's called Fireball. It's quite popular.
Take out my spell books. Thumbing through. Yep, don't have that one.
It's a little above your pay grade.
Sounds about right. Also found out that being on the receiving end of explosions is not fun. I like to avoid that.
You're a wizard, or a want-to-be wizard. Explosions are a way of life. Hopefully you have a healer available to reattach your legs if they get detached.
Occupational hazard? Does that happen often?
Plenty. Tell me, Fireball is not only a spell, it's a religion. Rejecting Fireball, I hear it's a blast.
Well, I get a little better. I have to look up that spell.
I recommend you enroll in school. They'll teach you the basics of the basics.
Yeah, I actually have a invite to one, but it's in a town. Haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
But I've made a promise to tell you how the hotter one of the two would go. I haven't used the cold one yet.
Do an investigation for me.
23?
As you're talking to Pulse, you kind of look around a little bit, and you're instantly taken back. You see, like, the same kind of jar that the fire one was in, but it's about 5 times the size. She's like, small project.
Because we do have this other issue that we have to deal with because one of my brothers likes to just grab things. What are your plans with this one?
I'm going to take all the discount potions and mix them together. What's worse can happen?
Either a whole lot of something or a whole lot of nothing.
She just kind of smiles a bit, and it's that you can see all the different missing teeth and teeth that are different shapes and sizes. It should be a blast.
It'll be something, all right. I don't doubt that.
You seem a bit lost as far as figuring yourself out.
Well, I mean, until I get to that school, I just don't really know what else a wizard's supposed to do. The town I grew up in, there weren't any. Except for the ones in the storybooks from when we were really small.
That's interesting. Generally, a lot of young wizards travel with adventurers so they can discover arcane secrets. Perhaps you should try that.
What, like this? And the tube with the puzzle on it.
Good luck with that. There might be a really good secret in there.
Might?
Or a high-level wizard might just be fucking with you.
I can see that.
I met a wizard. He spent 80 years trying to figure out one of those puzzles, and he finally opened it. And it says, "Please try again. You're not a winner."
Oh, that's terrible.
They shot out some confetti too, apparently.
All right, that's not so bad.
What is your goal as a wizard?
Not really sure. What are we supposed to do?
Well, there's different schools of being a wizard, or you can just be a generalized wizard. Do you want to turn things into other things, or cast wondrous spells, or enchant people?
Just kind of look around the shop, see if anybody else is there.
There's nobody else there. Well, you do see the snake.
I kind of keep a distance from the one that could swallow me in a bite.
Bite-sized snack.
Well, during that little undead escapade that we had, pretty much all of my family found out what it's like to be on the receiving end of an exploding barrel of ale. Not fun.
So do you want to blow up people?
Making an explosion is quite fun. Being on the receiving end sucks out loud.
It seems like you want more utility. She gets up. She walks down her little stepway, comes around the table. She gets just a random step stool box, and she does some semantics with her book. And you see the book open on the table when she does the semantics, and you see like a rune open, and it's just kind of like the runes are all very weird looking. Like they don't look normal. They look almost goblin inspired. And she grabs the chair and she throws it through, and you see another one open up and the chair comes out.
Okay, see, I could have totally used that when I saw the big wall of fire coming at me and my brother.
I've also seen another wizard. They made a giant marble table walk over and just drop on somebody.
That could be handy.
There's plenty of options as a wizard. You just have to figure out what you want to do.
Guess the one thing that if I could have, just kind of dealt with the problem so that way none of my family had to almost die.
Well, being a good wizard is a start. Perhaps you should go and figure that out. What are you gonna do?
Probably just say goodbye and head off.
Okay.
Try to figure out how does one be a good wizard.
All right, you head out. You leave Poltz's location. You start wandering the city.
I kind of just walk out the door and kind of more thinking about that and just kind of walking.
Just walking.
Yeah, I don't quite know where I'm going.
Eventually, it does carry you a little bit. And you do walk a bit further, and you eventually just accidentally bump into somebody.
No, sorry.
And as you look at them, it's a human, and they're very well dressed. They're wearing robes. They're towards the front gate. They were talking to a guard. And they kind of turn around a bit. They don't have a pointy hat or anything like that. And they kind of turn around and they look down at you, and you can see it's a female, and you can see another wizard with them, and it's a male. They're dressed exactly the same kind of garb, and she looks at you and she's like, I've never seen one of your kind. What are you?
I'm Mongo.
And the male wizard looks over. I've never seen a Mongo before.
Because there's only one of me.
And they both look at each other very confused. Fair enough. One of a kind Mongo. And they look at you a little bit. They're like, huh. You're peculiar. You can do an investigation if you want.
22.
22. As you're looking between them, you do actually spot the fact that they do have actual, like, tombs. They're actually similar, not like what you've seen before.
Well, I'm what they refer to as Munchkin Tabaxi.
And they just kind of look at each other, very confused. Huh. Never seen a Munchkin Tabaxi. So, tell me, what is it that a Munchkin Tabaxi does?
You know, I've only met one other of my kind, so I can't quite tell you. I can only tell you what I've done. What is it that you do?
They're like, well, from our land, we're currently just stopping this town to evaluate a few things, but whereas this content refers to were wizards, but not the kind of wizards you traditionally have, I suppose. It's some explanation. We use refined formulas to do our magic.
See, that's kind of funny because I happen to be studying that myself.
And one of them goes over and they do a semantic on the ground. They carve it into the ground, and you just see this wall appear instantly. And then they just do the semantic again, and it just kind of crumbles back into the earth.
Okay, see, that would have been damn handy yesterday. How do you do that?
And the male comes over and he opens the book up, and he shows you the actual like formula, but it's not any arcana you've ever seen before. You can see like actual like numbers in there, symbols, other things, and you can see along the side there's almost like a legend of like ingredients or like something else. You can roll an arcana on it.
Sure. $22.
22. You take a while to look at it, and you're just kind of like, you raise an eyebrow out of sheer confusion that they use actual like components, but they're actually ingredients. there's like a weird like translation you're missing between this equals this, this equals this equals this.
I think I see what you mean, because, well, I'm still a lot to learn. And where I come from, I have never seen anything like that. It is fascinating.
They're like, we're from pretty far away. We were just traveling the world to discover different actual elemental exchanges and things to do as far as expanding our repertoire to bring back home. And we ended up here and we're currently just studying, as you say, other wizards and their abilities. And the male just kind of chuckled. And if you really want to get technical, we're technically considered war mages from our people.
War mage?
Yes, a mage that we join the front lines and provide what support we can and blow things up, or provide support to assist our comrades.
Okay, well, yeah, yesterday, the little altercation. As it turns out, blowing shit up's rather fun. Getting blown up, opposite end of the spectrum, not fun at all. When you say support, what is entailed in that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, we can gift their weapons to be a little bit more effective or more precise, or perhaps provide a boon to their defenses.
Could have used one of those too on the getting blown up part. Like I said, I've quite a lot to learn. I've only just begun.
They watch as you take out a flask and start just drinking a little bit. They're like, well, we're going to be traveling to the apparent mage school in this continent. Perhaps we'll see you there someday.
The Willowfall?
Yes.
Oh, I'm heading there soon.
Soon, you say?
Mm-hmm. Not sure how soon, but definitely soon. I really want to go.
Well, perhaps you should go sooner than later.
Getting my family in tow was the trick.
Convince them. Tell them that your life depends on it.
Oh, depending on how things are gonna go. Yeah. I think not only mine, but theirs as well.
Just blow up the entire party. That's a solution.
Yeah, my brother almost did that. Gotta say, not a fan of that solution.
Sorry, Sparta.
And you see another just kind of wizard walking past you, and they look rather disheveled. And they use prestidigitation. They're like, I'm leaving this town. I don't want to deal with whatever they're dealing with. He's like, he looks at the two of them, and he's like, he looks at you, and he looks at the pointy hat. You really want to kill something? Use a fireball.
That's what I've heard. Well, actually, I just heard about that spell about an hour ago.
And if you really want to make sure it's dead, enhance it. Make a bigger explosion.
You can enhance what you're doing.
Yes. And this wizard's like, I'm leaving. And they just head off out the gate. And the two other wizards are like, if you don't mind, we're going to part as well. And they turn to head off.
Appreciate it. Safe travels.
They motion back, you're welcome. Don't die before you get to the school.
That's the plan.
And they head off. And what's Manga gonna do?
Probably just head off in another direction.
Another direction?
Yeah.
You head off in another direction, and you kind of head off to the air docks area, and you kind of find a nice little spot to sit down and just watch the ships come and go, the passengers getting off and stuff, and you're able to just contemplate things, figuring out where you want to go as far as this goes. You have obvious options open of different kinds of paths you can take.
Yeah.
And the hat kind of adjusts on your head and goes,
You know, if you've got anything to add to the conversation, feel free to chime in.
It just kind of goes, humph, humph, humph.
Okay, so gonna ask a question. 1 humph for no, 2 for yes. Cool?
Humph.
Not cool? Do you have a name, or is Humphrey good enough?
Humph. Humph.
Okay, good enough for now. You wouldn't happen to know where the hell I can find more spells and be a better wizard?
You kind of feel the point. It points in every direction.
So everywhere but here.
Yep.
You didn't get too rattled by that last explosion, did you?
It lets out 2 humphs.
Yes, you did get rattled. Okay. Well, I'm going to try not to get us blown up. However, if you get hurt, I don't know how to fix you.
Carefully, I suppose. Hey, you've never dealt with an item like this before.
Nope.
It's completely different to you. But I'm guessing you just kind of wandered the city, finding different spots to sit, different stores to visit for the rest of the time. Is there anything specifically you want to do?
Get more spells.
Yeah, that'll come in time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You can't have all the fun up front.
I know. Eventually I get all the spells.
Mm-hmm.
Research.
Research? Alright.
Because we still got that fucking bullet contract to deal with.
What are you going to research?
Anything I can find out. See if we can't make another thing to blow it up with.
Alright. Do a wisdom for me while studying your book.
18. Wisdom. Modified 20.
You're kind of walking along, and you stop in front of the Tinkerers Guild, and you kind of go inside, and you kind of narrow your gaze a little bit. Do a intelligence for me.
Oh. That would be 10.
10?
Modified.
That's fine. You walk over to the table, and you see something there, and it's round, and it's got symbols on it, and you see like arms moving along it, and then the gnome looks at you and sees that you're looking at that. It's the gnome from before. Can I help you? Who are you?
Oh, sorry, my this is the Tinkerers Guild?
Yeah.
My brother might have wandered by here. He comes in quite often.
Oh,
Nikolai.
I haven't seen him today. Also, why are you staring at that?
It's rather interesting.
It's called a alarm clock. And as the gnome says that and demonstrates what it does is you set the time on it and it counts down and it starts rattling. You put two and two together, you're like, well, 2 + 1 + 1, you're cow, explosive, clock.
How hard are these things to come by?
They're a more recent gnomish invention.
Hard to make?
Commission one.
Pricey?
About 3 platinum.
Is this the only one you have?
I have a few more.
You're supposed to attach a rope, a string, or something to one of the arms and set it to go off at a certain time. It could pull said string.
Yes.
Interesting.
Mongo discovers how to make high explosives.
Explosions are fun. Getting blown up, less fun.
And you say Nikolai is bad.
I never said the Tinker Boys weren't the biggest troublemakers.
So are you going to purchase one of the clocks?
Oh. 3 fucking platinum. How hard is that to build?
Takes about a week. Lots of delicate pieces.
You've met my brother, yes?
Yeah. The
Think you
short,
could-
the little eccentric one, rolls around on the ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. You suppose he could tinker one of these things together? If we were to get the plans from you in exchange for something.
It's possible. It wouldn't be to the scale, but it's possible.
Wouldn't need a real fancy one, just a rudimentary one would work.
Yeah. For whatever you're going to do.
Party favors.
Oh. So you're a performer.
In a sense.
So, you're going to go ahead and carry on and talking to the gnome about this contraption and how to get your hands on one, I'm sure. And, yeah, it's starting to get later in the day, and you kind of spend your time here starting to put your notes together on the plan that you have. And, let's see. Yeah, you start putting everything together and devising your plans. And can you send in Nikolai while you devise said plans? Oh my god, I can't believe I'm letting you go along with this.
I'm gonna fucking die.
Can you go send in Nikolai,
Yep.
please?
I just realized what Mongo's turning into. And... Yep. Cheers.
Cheers! Nikolai,
Yes.
how are you doing?
I'm good. Well, me is good. Nikolai probably traumatized a little bit.
All right. So, are you taking your Willy-Majig with you, or leaving it behind?
No, I would have left it. Would probably, as I kind of sitting there quietly contemplating as everybody's leaving for the day, realizing that everybody kind of just moved out on their own. I would have start thinking about what the one gnome, I think her name was Audrey, said about like incorporating nature. So just going to kind of separate myself from my machines and my tools, and I'm going to kind of like walk about maybe around the outskirts of town, more where I can, have that kind of like connection to machines and civilization, and on one side and the other side maybe a little bit of nature kind of thing, and maybe something will come to mind that'll help me try to figure this stuff out.
You to a degree abandon your machine, head down the steps, head outside of the tavern. It's overcast, a little bit chilly. You pull your little jacket around you, and the world just seems so much larger than it has been to you. But you realize that in the fact that you've been relying on this, that you actually ignored the fact that on the pathways, there's actual separate pathways for smaller beings like gnomes and things like that, where they can actually go through safely and traverse the city.
Oh. Yeah, I could imagine I was just like walking down the middle of the road there, and I realized that, hey, this looks like it's nice and safe and comfortable to walk on. And then kind of like as I crossed the street, I realized that's the same kind of setup as on that street. And
and you realize that it goes up like a bridge over actual crossways.
Oh, okay.
So that you could just walk across the street and not worry about actually being stepped on while people are going across pathways or roads or anything like that.
Well, that's nice of them to consider the small folks.
And as you carry on through the city, I want you to do an investigation for me.
An investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Let's see if my dice will be nice to me.
No, they're cursed.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's a 1.
That's a 1?
Yeah.
I want you to make a reflex saving throw.
Let's try a different dice.
Wow, you're off to a great start tonight.
Excellent start.
Absolutely wonderful.
Nikolai will not return home. He will be a biological smear on the road someplace. You said reflex?
Yep.
That would be 15.
They just will send your ball in your stead.
I'm sorry?
They just will send your ball in your stead, paint a face on it, and just carry it around and be like, this is Nikolai.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay. It's like, no, I left the ball at the end.
What was it? 10?
15.
15?
Yeah.
You kind of step off of the pathway, just admiring it a little bit, and you kind of feel where the ground is, and there's nothing there. And you go, oh shit. And you immediately start to plummet, but you reach up and you manage to grab onto the rail and just kind of pull yourself up.
Jeez.
And you
That
realize,
Looney Tunes moment, huh?
Yeah, you realize you would have fallen an entire story to the ground.
Oh, jeez. Alrighty.
But you carry on, and you're kind of walking along, and your tail just inadvertently crooks, and you hear a violin.
Huh. Does it excite me where my tail crooks that it's ear piercing, like hurting, or does it actually have some type of allure to it?
It has some sort of allure to it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure if it sounds that good that makes me want to listen to it, I'm gonna go find who's playing the music.
You follow the music. It's quite easy. You kind of get down on all fours and you're just kind of like listening, and you head off, and you head down an alleyway, and you can see like almost like a small person door. And you go and you check it.
Yeah, a small person door, like it's only a couple feet high or something.
you go to check it, and it's not locked, and you push it open, and the violin music is very, very clear now.
Oh, okay.
And you head into this area, and it's a round area, and you can see it's a warehouse that's been converted.
Okay.
And in the middle of this converted warehouse, you see this warforged there, and he's serving up drinks to people and various things.
Okay.
And you can see there's tinkering going on all around him too, but it's not like large people tinkering; it's smaller people tinkering. You see a few fairies actually tinkering as well. You see a
Fairies?
yeah,
I kind of remember those things you're supposed to stay away from.
and and as you look around, you see a gnome there tinkering. You see a dwarf there actually tinkering.
Huh.
And you see a tiny little warforged that's actually tinkering as well.
Yeah, tiny little, like.
Yeah, like your size almost. And then you pause for a moment and you see something that you've never seen before. You see another mouse folk. Not like you. They're more lanky in the legs and more lanky in the arms, and their fur is like a vibrant purple color. And they're just kind of got oil all over them in their apron, and they're just wiping off their hands on their apron as they look at what they're working on.
I'm gonna go right up next to this one and just kind of just look at him and like,
yeah,
and like do personal comparisons and like.
They kind of like they're kind of like admiring their work, and they look over and they go, oh, you're
purple.
You're fat.
Well, why are you purple?
Pardon me. That's first of all very rude and insulting.
Well, I've never seen anything like me.
They just kind of raise an eyebrow a little bit. I've never seen one of my kind to look like you. Are you ill?
No, I feel quite fine.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Nikolai.
They put out their hand, and it's rather a delicate hand as they shake your hand.
Okay.
And they just kind of look at you. Nikolai.
Yes. What's your name?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's an interesting name.
Well, from the Feywild, my...
Feywild.
My,
I've heard of that before.
My guard is from the Feywild.
Guard?
Yes. Don't you belong to a noble guard as well?
No.
Serve one of the Fey courts?
I've never been to the Feywild.
Die in the honor of the queen?
I've heard about the Feywild, but I've never been there. What's it like?
Well, what's it like to wake up in your plane of existence?
Much like this.
Then waking up in the Feywild is much like this.
What? So the Feywild's like this place?
No, but it's... As you perceive this is normal to you, the Feywild is normal to me, so I can't describe it in terms of explanatory concept that you would understand. It is to experience something vastly different outside your realm of normal in order to actually understand it. And the gnome looks over. Yes, stop overcomplicating things. You never shut up.
So, how long you been here?
They look around. I don't understand the concept of time. It's been...
Well, I just found this place like 2 minutes ago. I walked in, saw you, and we've been talking for about 30 seconds.
If you say so.
You don't understand the concept of time.
Time is relative from... And the gnome is over there just like... And the Warforged looks over. Like, don't encourage them. The fairies are like... One of the fairies comes over and he's like... From where we're at, time can be abnormal. As in, an hour could be a day or a minute.
Oh. I can get so much stuff done.
Exhaustion still is the same, though.
Oh. Hey, my sister gave me these beans. You want to try one?
The fairy looks at it.
They help you think and move fast. And
The fairy takes it and breaks a piece off and eats
oh, yeah,
it.
you might want to do a small part. I took one full one once, and it was nuts. I felt like my chest was going to
You just see the fairy's eyes go super wide, and they drop the bean, and it's almost like watching a whimsical bullet shoot around, with dust just going everywhere.
You want one? Yes.
I'm satisfactory.
Okay. If you want one, you can have one.
And
I've got like 3 left. I can get more for my sister.
And the violin that you've heard, it's coming from over in the corner, and there's like a light there, and the mushroom is just playing the violin.
That's cool.
The mushroom folk.
So, what are you working on there?
They look at you very confused.
What is your thing? What is this?
Oh, they turn back to it. I'm kind of just letting my hands do what they want to do.
Well, that's interesting.
You start with a pile of parts, and you just kind of go from there.
So it's art?
Well, it's a contraption.
What does it do?
Well, this is Mr. Belchy.
Mr. Belchy?
Yes.
What does Mr. Belchy do?
They close the lid of it, and they go around the side, and they kind of, get some things and tinker it. And you see there's 4 sections that open up on this thing, and you see 4 legs come out. And you see it turn completely around, and you see like this maw open up and the metal sharpened into teeth.
That's pretty cool.
It's my companion.
Your companion?
Yes. Mr. Belchy, what's your favorite thing to do? And he goes, nom.
Cool. You can... Wait a minute. So I have this ball-like thing that the other tinkerers in the guild help me make, but it like only does exactly what I say. As like I can't like it can't do stuff by itself. I have to be in it and make it do stuff. How are you doing that?
Well, have you ever heard of a mimic?
A mimic?
I ripped its brain out and I put it into Mr. Belchy. It was quite an endeavor. I had to hire some adventurers to help me with it, but it was well worth it.
Huh. What is a mimic?
Well, it's this thing that can mimic, as you say, a table, a door, a chest.
Wow.
A cupboard. A chair.
So it can change its shape?
Yes. Well, he can't.
Oh.
And this other, and you hear the door open, and as you look over, you see another, one of these, strange mouse folk come in. And, this one has like a mohawk, and, they have a wrench over their shoulder. And, you see coming and walking behind him is like this weird, like, almost hunched over walking marionette.
Whoa. You can make stuff move by itself?
And the tinker closes the door behind them, and they're like, "Come on, Igor, let's go." And they walk over to the counter, and they sit down at the counter. And marionette just kind of, very not smooth motions, almost like it's a puppet on string, sits down. And the bartender gives the marionette a little jar of oil, and the fey person some honeydew liquid.
Do you know that guy, Guff?
They're my sister.
That's your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Is she friendly?
As friendly as anybody else can be.
What's her name?
Feck.
Feck. What does Feck do?
Same thing I do.
You guys gotta teach me how to make things be alive. Can you do that?
That's not my talent. That's her talent.
Oh, that's neat.
Mr. Belchy is my talent. She's the one that puts a bunch of random parts together and tells it to move, and it gets up and starts moving. It's creepy.
Would you mind introducing me?
I don't have any reservations on that. And starts walking in that direction.
following.
Little pitter patter of mouse feet.
Yeah, I'll follow. Excited.
It's slightly, and you notice, unlike where you're like walking, there's like a little hop to their walk.
Okay. Huh.
A little bit different than you.
So they kind of use all fours usually?
No, they walk on two legs, but they kind of hop a little bit.
Oh, they kind of. Okay.
Yeah. And Feck is sitting there just kind of taking a drink. And they look over at their sibling. That's the last time I do a contract for this Hunters Guild.
Yeah, they do crazy stuff. Hi.
And they look over at you. Oh, you're a fat little thing.
What?
Are you a runt?
Maybe. I only know what my. I look a lot like my parents, and I show them the bullet thing.
They kind of look at the picture and they're like,
I'm trying to find them.
they look to each other. Well, we haven't seen anything that. You're the first one that looks like that.
You're the second one that looks like you that I've seen.
There's plenty of us.
What color is Feck?
She's kind of like a cream white with specks of pink. It's more prominent in her mohawk.
So, Guff tells me you made that marionette.
She looks over at the marionette. Yep.
How is it moving without you controlling it?
Well, you get a bunch of pieces together, you kind of get a rough assembly of the system, and you put a symbol inside of it, and as long as the symbol's protected, it'll walk around and do whatever you want.
What?
Okay, do you want to learn this?
Yeah, because it would be so cool if I can get my little machine I made at the tavern to like be able to move by itself instead of like me having to be in it and controlling it. You can teach me this?
She's like, hold on. This is separate from that kind of work.
Okay.
This is a little bit more complicated.
I take out my notebook and start writing down everything she said.
So, she's like, okay, buy me a drink and I'll try to teach you this.
I would have. I already spent the silver that's on tab. So, yeah, I would have one gold on me.
Okay.
So, I only got 1 gold. Barkeep, how many drinks can I get with this?
The barkeep just looks at it. You see this massive warforged with its 4 eyes staring at you.
Oh, it's
Yeah. Yeah, it's a massive warforged. It's like sitting cross-legged as the barkeep.
His barkeep is his bar that has keeps only like this big, problem.
Yeah. And the barkeep and the back is like, each drink here is only a copper.
Okay. So, open up a tab for me, please, sir. Drink for my friend Feck and Guff, and one for myself, please.
And the barkeep
I slide
just
on the gold.
he takes it, deposits it into like almost like a slot machine. You can hear it just kind of jingle a little bit. And, yeah, produces 3 drinks rather quick. Like, they're surprised because, well, it's a Warforged.
Yeah, I'm looking for that information.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. It's like I can see it in the... Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. I found it.
Okay. So, they take you off to basically a private section, like a sectioned off area. You know, they're kind of like private little tinkering areas.
Okay.
It looks more like an operation room than anything than an actual tinkering room.
Is this where the tinkerers go to get some black market parts?
No. So, the first thing, they kind of like get a like almost like a big piece of parchment, and they start writing on it, and you're just kind of like staring at it, and the brother's like, and she stops. I'm showing him how to do it. He's like
trying to copy it down, everything she's putting down in my
and
notebook.
he's like, common, not our native tongue.
I also speak Draconic.
No, this is completely different. This is Sylvan.
Oh.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand.
So those aren't... Okay, so those are your words. Those... Okay. What the heck does that say? I thought you were like drawing like circuits or something.
So they go back. They start doing it and writing down the instructions in common.
Okay.
Where you can actually, you're like, oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so you actually start to be able to understand it, and eventually you kind of get the idea, and you start with like a little, find like much smaller than you, just using like basic little tiny little pieces that are readily available on how to actually make a homunculus.
Oh, you make me a little one.
Yeah, and then they actually show you another rather useful thing. It almost looks like a rifle, but it's like a thing to help clear a rifle, so it's like your size.
Okay. And
they show you how to make it where it will rotate and add an additional shot. Essentially.
Ooh, that's neat. So, wow, that's so cool. Are you here regularly?
Here and there. Yeah.
Are you a member of the guild?
And Frack is like, I wouldn't join any Tinkerer's Guild.
Why?
Why would I want to share my interesting secrets that are inspired by my homeland with a bunch of grubby people?
So that you can share your awesome stuff and other people can enjoy it, and because, you know, you taught me something, I'm going to tell everybody.
Gek looks over, is just kind of leaning against the wall a little bit. Last time we tried to open up and share what we know as far as what we do, a gnome laughed at us and told us we were inferior.
All the gnomes I met were really friendly.
Well,
at least at this guild. There's this one Tabaxi. He's mean.
They're cats.
Yeah. I thought I was food.
They're cats.
Yes, I know. My brother thought I was food. Both of my brothers thought I was food at once.
And Feck looks over. Next time someone thinks you're food, stick your homunculus on them. They'll forget that you're food very quickly.
Oh, that's why I learned this. It's produce flame.
And they just watch the fire. And they both instantly make notes on that.
I can show you how to do it.
All right. And So you spend the rest of basically the day and night there with him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just figuring it out.
Honing in the actual skills and abilities and things like that.
Probably after a couple tries, actually getting it right with the homunculus for sure.
Yeah, and it's actually a very lively area, and lots of smaller people come and go. You actually see as you go back out to get like some food, from the little work area, you see a lizard folk, but they're more like your size, and they're decorated with like a headdress of like a chicken and things like that. All their tools are made out of like little bones and everything like that too.
This is such a cool place. I want to bring my brothers here. Will they be able to fit in that door?
It's big enough for like a dwarf to come through.
Okay.
Or a halfling to come through.
Okay.
It's made for small people, essentially.
Okay, so I can definitely bring Mongo and Scav here.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably get a kick out of this place.
All right. Well, since you're going to spend the rest of the night there, please send in Scabbard.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we play hot potato with the players. It's a bit of an odd structured evening tonight, but we're just getting a lot of personal experiences out of the into the open. Hello, Scabbard. How are you?
I am doing just fine.
Are you excited?
Oh, absolutely. You already know it.
I will try not to murder you too much. It's okay. It's going to be an easy death.
Oh, God.
Let's see how many ones you roll. There you go. Right table. Okay. Scabbard.
Yes.
You do, you get up in the morning. All your siblings have already left. It's kind of odd to you that they didn't wake you up or say goodbye. And you wander downstairs in hopes to see them at their usual table. The table is completely empty. And as you wander outside, you don't see any sign of them. But it is overcast and cloudy, a few raindrops falling on your head. What do you wish to do?
I'll go through my usual routine, getting something simple to eat.
Okay.
From there, probably gonna go and venture out into the city and see what type of mischief I can get into.
Oh boy.
Or let's see if I learn something interesting.
Alright. So you're going to wander the city a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright. You begin to wander the city and kind of just start meandering around, nibbling on your food.
Okay.
And you eventually do, now that you're alone, you're able to observe the city a little bit better. And you do find that there is actually additional pathways designed for smaller folk, where you won't get stepped on or squished or anything like that, or rustled about.
Okay.
And you start wandering through the city, and much deeper than you've actually been. And it's an interesting experience. It reminds you a little bit of what would be considered home, but the memories are still fuzzy to you. And you eventually wander into what would be considered the farmlands, and go ahead and do an investigation for me.
Alright.
With your loaded dice.
Not loaded, it's actually been tested. That would be a 16.
16. As you wander into the farmlands, you realize that you've traveled quite a bit from the city, and you can hear more of nature in itself, less of the rustle and bustle of the city and the occasional sounds from the Tinkerers Guild. And you kind of come to a few different houses out there, and you see a tent perched up, and you get your first glimpse of how important your task is and who you are. And when you draw closer to it, you see that there is a cleric there, and you see various dwarven miners and other miners that have been injured, and you see off in the distance some guards basically standing outside of the mines keeping guard so people don't go in.
I'm gonna very cautiously approach and see what's going on, because definitely interested in this. It might learn something a little bit more about our next task.
Yeah. Go ahead and do another investigation real quick.
All right. 18.
18. You approach a little bit closer, and as you get closer to the actual tent, you see what's going on. You see someone off like halfway between here and there, and they're wearing like a green cloak, and you see that they have 2 wolves circling around them, and the guards are keeping their distance from this person, and they just kind of motion a bit, and the wolves sit down.
Definitely curious about this individual. That's something I've never seen before. So,
And they're 2 large wolves.
things are probably bigger than I am, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I'm very cautiously approach. Ask the guard. Is this where the mines are? Where the bullet is?
The guard looks over at the person with the wolves and then back at you. Yes, what's your business here?
I have that contract for the bullet.
They're like, oh, go ahead and deal with it.
Well, it's not just me, but a couple of others. I don't really know where they are right now, but since I'm here, I figured I may as well learn a little bit more about what's going on. Anything you can tell me?
The guard just laughs. Miners go in, they try to do their job, some pieces come out, some miners come out.
That does not sound fun. Sounds like a very bad time. Do you know if anybody around here might know a little bit more about what's going on?
The guard motions the weird persons in, or yeah, that one over there might know a bit more.
Okay, thank you. I
Good
will
luck.
Very cautiously approach this individual.
You walk over and you're actually rather taken back instantly by this person. They have their hood pulled up and forward, and you can basically shadow in their face. And you get your first glimpse of how different they seem, and you approach them and go ahead and do a perception.
It's a 15.
And you glance them up and down, and they're already judging you, and they have their hand in a certain position, and it seems like if they move their hand, the wolves will attack. But you see that their hands kind of come out to almost like claws, and you see their face, and it's almost like looking at a jackal of some sort.
Sorry, what are you?
They look at you, and they're like, as some of your kin in this world, I am what you refer to as a gnoll.
Oh. I don't think I've ever seen or met a gnoll before. What exactly, can you explain?
I'm a living being, much like yourself.
Okay. That makes sense. I was told you might be able to tell me a little bit more about what's going on in those mines.
They won't let me approach because I don't have the contract. But I can tell you that whatever is going on in those mines is not pleasant.
So I've heard. Something that has to do with the bullets.
Yes. I don't know much of this creature.
You know a good amount of it?
I don't know much of it.
Oh, you don't know much. Huh. Well, I do know a little bit of information about it.
It's subterranean, it's highly territorial, enjoys eating gnomes. I have actually considered kidnapping a gnome and using them as bait.
That might not sit well with the people around here, but...
Not of my concern.
Right. Well, if you were to try and tackle a creature like this, how would you go about it?
Carefully. From what I understand, it's much like an armored rhino of some sort with a thick hide.
Okay. What's a rhino?
It's a large, above-ground creature with a thick hide and a large horn. Highly territorial and will charge you and impale you with the horn.
That sounds like a very bad time.
Think of a very fat bull with a single horn.
That sounds scary. I don't like that. But suppose there's definitely quite a few that would have to take care of such a problem. Huh. Alright. Well, I'm not really sure how I would handle such a situation, but...
They crouch down next to you because they're towering over you. Very easily.
About how tall are they, actually?
Oh, they're probably about 6'5".
Okay. Yeah. I'm tiny compared. I probably only stand about like as tall as their knee.
Yeah. And they look at you, and you can see just them staring back at you, and they're like, I don't mean to sound rude, but I killed one of your kind and roasted them over fire. It wasn't very tasty. But it was survival.
Right. We'll go ahead and take a couple steps back.
They watch you take a few steps back. I'm not going to eat you. I've learned my lesson of eating your kin.
This is it's been an interesting conversation, but I think I have to take my leave.
As you walk away, the ranger watches you.
I'm gonna go ahead and make my way away from that area and see if I can find anyone related to the mines themselves, a miner or perhaps someone along the lines of a quartermaster that would provide information or something like that.
Go ahead and do a... Oh boy, this is a weird roll. Perception, because you're in the area.
Okay. 19.
19.
Yep.
You kind of watch this odd ranger that you're like, okay, we're going to stay away from that one because I don't want to be food for anything. And you wander back to where the buildings are, and you see a slightly larger building, and you go inside. And you see behind the thing is a female dwarf. And she's got her hair up in a very thick bun, and she's kind of sitting at the table, and she's got a big tankard of ale.
I'll go ahead and knock on the side of the whatever sounds like it would make like the most noise without being too startling.
And she's like, yeah, I saw you come in. I'm not blind. I might be drunk, but I'm not blind.
Didn't want to interrupt anything.
She just looks around. Oi, does it look like I have anybody in my shop? With it, what's going on in me mines? People don't come in here too often right now.
I'm not from around here. Actually, I'm here on business on behalf of the Hunters Guild.
Oh, you poor little fuck.
Right.
They conned you, a little whelp, into whatever that's going to get you killed.
Maybe. I mean, you have faced some crazy things before, my group and I, but never faced anything like this.
Alright. It's quite easy. Pull up your britches. Find something big to hit it with or to stab it with. March right up to it and kill it. Quite simple.
I mean, I did have a very good ballista until my brother kind of destroyed it. Still owes me one. I'm not gonna let that go. But I did have an idea. Well, technically my brother did, but I kind of have an idea that can go upon it. It involves a lot of explosive powder and baits.
I hope you're not with that one out there.
Far from it. I don't know about, I think he called himself a gnoll. I don't know how I feel about that one. He's kind of creepy. Makes me feel very, nervous.
Yeah, that one has the air of death about them. I don't quite agree with that.
Yeah, it said something about, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough. How
What?
can I be of service to you?
Well, I was hoping you'd be able to tell us a little bit more about the mines, about what it's like down there. Or at
Well?
least I can share this information with the others.
She just looks at you very perplexed, leans forward. You're telling me yous, a fucking kobold, know nothing about the mines, or any mines at all?
I'm not your typical kobold.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
As far as I'm aware, I've only met one other one like myself.
Okay.
So I don't
She
really
takes
know...
a big swig of her ale and she's like, fucking kobolds living above ground now.
At most, I've seen maybe 7 or 8 others kinda like me, but not really like me. I don't know. I don't really see many others that have like these weird floating things. And I'll play with one of like the little floating crystal-like horns above my head.
Despite your fancy crown there, if you happen to come across some kobolds out in the wild, I tell you this. Fuck off from them because they're going to probably try to kill you.
That's fair enough.
Now, going in a mine is rather simple. You go in, there's designated paths. That's simple. You open a hole in the side of a mountain, you dig. That's simple.
Okay.
Okay, listen here, buddy.
Take a seat and listen amply.
Have you ever dealt with an anthill?
Many times.
Okay. Simple enough, at least that fuckery is out of the way for you. Think of a mine as an anthill.
So literally just a hole.
That goes off in a bunch of different directions.
Right.
That easy. Simple
Okay.
enough for you.
Alright.
Yes.
So you're saying that this boulette's kind of like moving around in the mines like an ant would?
More like a very, very angry bulldog.
Oh. I just have bad memories there for a second from his very early childhood age. That's not fun. Alright.
I'm not permitted to actually go deal with this fuckery myself, as I have to stay here as the quartermaster. I tried to resign my post so I could go deal with it, and they said fuck all no. Unfortunately, this is my job.
Well, any tips on how to deal with such a creature?
Easy. Smash it, get between its plate, skin it alive, burn it alive, and if you can get to eat something volatile, that'll work too.
Right. Well then. Question. Do you happen to have, what did he call it? Dynamite?
Shop's closed on that front.
Do you know where I can go to procure some?
Rare components, no. Delicate hands are required for dynamite.
I see.
A kobold's hands are not delicate.
Fair enough. I will not argue there. Well, thanks for sharing what information you could.
Want a drink?
Probably a very bad idea. I seem to have one really bad allergy to any type of intoxicant that is a drink.
The dwarf, she takes another heavy swig. And she starts singing something in Dwarven. You don't really understand it.
I'll take my leave from the place, and I'll look around the area, see if I can find any thing about. Is there more than one entrance to the mine?
From all the information gathered, there's a single entrance.
Any clues about this thing leaving the mine itself?
Go ahead and do an investigation for me.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh my god, this is adorable. He's playing with the dice.
That's a 22.
A 22? You take a better part of the day and investigate the area. You're free to move about because the guards know you have the contract. You don't find anything indicating that it's actually left the mines. Oh, that's not good. That was
I think that was one of the crystal ones.
Yeah.
And he's going to grab that.
Can you grab that, please?
Yeah. That was the crystal die.
Oh boy. So you investigate there. You don't find that it's been outside of the mines at all.
All right. About what time of the day is it actually?
It's starting to get later in the day. You can see people starting to, the lanterns and stuff starting to come on, decorate the farmlands.
I'll probably take out one of my hand lanterns then and make my way back to the town since it's starting to get around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably make my way back to the tavern, and if my siblings are there, share that information that I have found so far with them. I'll probably take one of those smaller passages that's more safe.
Okay. I'm going to switch back over here. You can go get everybody to come back in.
Gotcha.
Do. Bringing the party back together with all sorts of fun ideas. For those watching at home, we are going to go a little bit longer to make up for the technical issues we had. Probably about 10 to 15 minutes longer.
What cheddar roll?
I was the first one back.
Yes, you were. Welcome back.
I'm teasing because all I have to do is flip my camera on and put my mic on.
And
Wow,
here we go.
You are back at the speed of light. Or
Hi, Kelly.
internet connection. Hello, Mayor.
Yeah, whatever that may be today.
Nikolai, last to the seat as always.
I have lots of important stuff to do always.
All right.
He always has that mind spinning about the next way he's going to blow up his siblings.
All right. So, the next morning comes, you wake up, Scav, you head downstairs, and eventually, one by one, your party members trickle into the tavern, gentle music playing from a bard, and they each eventually find themselves back at the breakfast seat. This is the first time all of you guys have actually spent this much time away from each other.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Missed all of you yesterday.
As he's sitting there covering something up with his hands.
We missed us, don't oh, damn.
I meant I didn't really see any of you, so. But I did learn something very interesting, though.
Oh, we didn't see each other yesterday. That is odd.
Well,
We just got busy.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
We'll just had things to do.
What are you doing there, Nikolai?
What?
He seemed just being very secretive about something.
And there's what looks to be a metallic praying mantis on the table.
And-
Really small.
It's small enough
and
for
it's
him.
walking over to Cayenne.
Oh no.
What is that?
Nikolai, why are you
It's
playing
what's
with
called a
toys
homunculus.
at the breakfast table? Aren't you supposed to
I don't
keep
know
those,
if I like that word. What is that?
I made it.
at the shop?
It's I found this really cool place. I found some other mice folk, not like me, but other mice folk. They were colors. One was purple, one was pink.
Is this?
Well, you've turned varying colors before.
Is it? I'm going to like put my finger in front of it. Is it is it mostly like metal?
It's all mechanical.
Okay.
It reaches up with its little claws and grabs your hand and just like it's shaking your hand.
Well, it looks like it's friendly.
Yeah.
I think it likes it. You made that?
Huh?
Also, what are you talking about?
You see that little
colorful-
crystal on? That's what's powering him.
I'm gonna take a good nice
Um,
look at this.
Do a perception.
It's
I'm
all
gonna,
metal.
I'm gonna look it over too.
Okay, yeah.
You said perception?
Yeah.
What does it eat?
Ah, that's a 1.
That doesn't
That's a
mean
one.
anything.
19.
That makes sense.
Oh.
It's like my machine I made, except it can do stuff on its own.
Cayenne, while you're like looking at it, something else instantly catches your attention, and it's just a nice, fresh plate of fruit that just instantly set down.
That makes sense.
So, what have you all been up to?
Making cool stuff.
Wow.
The praying mantis is just still standing there in front of you as you're just, yeah.
You could just tell him to go away if he's bothering you.
I'm just more curious about it.
Augie's going to reach over the table, after pulling out a pair of tongs from her belt and just grabbing it quick.
You pick it up in the tongs, and it just kind of like, its head turns 180 degrees to look at you.
Oh!
Is it supposed to do? Is this safe?
He's safe. He's not gonna hurt.
I've seen a real one of these. So yes, that's normal for their heads to do that. I've seen an I've seen an actual mantis. It's normal for their heads to turn like that at
Oh,
least.
that just seems like a pain in the neck.
Some creatures
Pain
can
in the
do
neck
that.
and
Some
everywhere
birds
else.
can do that.
Sounds like you've been busy. What
She
about
turns
you,
it around
Cayenne?
in the thong, in the tongs. Little Freudian slip there, sorry. And turns it upside down for a moment.
You're
She
just
starts looking at the crystal.
it's a tiny little Nikolai-sized crystal, and
Yeah, it's just one little purple and green, little piece of the purple and green gem that, the same gem I made for Augie's, or not Augie's, Cayenne's little ornament she has in her headdress.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a tiny little piece of it. I have a little tiny bit left.
She's gonna
all right.
place it on the table and put her tongs back away.
It just kind of, just does little praying mantis stuff. As
You can go say hi to everybody, buddy, if you want.
Skitters, freaks people out, postures. If it dabs or just jazz claws at me, though, I'm squashing it.
go ahead and if you want, roll a performance for me.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Cheddar did not bless my dice.
No.
That was let's see, performance. Yeah, that's a 3.
A 3?
Yeah.
It goes to do a dab and just falls over on its side.
Okay.
Funny thing is, that's also common for mantises.
So, Scavert had asked you,
So, what have you all been up to?
specifically asked you.
I listened to a tree.
Trees
Huh?
talk?
Yes.
Whoa. What?
At the end of the
Wait,
conversation, did
so-
it tell you to leave it alone?
Mongo.
So, remember how nature was taking back the bandit camp?
Right.
Well, there's a big gnarly tree there now, and it's using the bodies as fertilizer.
Oh, you went all the way out there?
I just took off galloping after y'all left. I got the urge to stretch my legs, and
Wow.
the roads were pretty deserted this morning.
Oh.
I just happened to end up back at the bandit camp. But I saw a druid that wasn't like any of the other that I had met, and we talked. They taught me how to use my little spores to melt things.
What?
Hmm?
Spores to melt things? You have spores?
I'll reach and get my little biome off of my back. It's a decent sized mason jar. Would look like a backpack on my back, essentially.
Oh.
Flip lid. It has mushrooms on the inside.
Whoa.
Little fungi.
That's really neat.
Oh, I thought you said you were making spores. I was like, what? Okay, so you
These
got
little
you. Okay.
these little guys helped me when I asked them. I'm gonna take care of them.
That's really cool.
So mushrooms talk too.
All nature talks to those that actually speak to her and listen to her.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nature is a living, breathing, sentient thing, just like the undead we encountered.
These weren't really living or sentient, but
They're unliving.
I get your point.
But basically the shamblers we dealt with, I heard the torment and felt the torment they went through when that necromancer ended them. I heard everything that happened to them in their last moments
Oh.
and felt it. So what we did was a good thing.
Oh.
That's good.
That's good.
They're finally at peace. They didn't want to die, but they did.
Hmm.
And we gave them peace in the end. So that's what I did.
Wow.
What did you guys do?
Oh. I got a lot to tell you all.
Well, spill it.
Well,
Wait. Is this stuff that we should talk about upstairs?
yeah.
Okay.
This is something we want to talk about upstairs. So, we should probably make our way there unless we want to wait for a bit. Unless any of you have something else you want to share that needs to be private.
When in doubt, keep
No,
it private.
Not really, unless we want to invoke the ire of a certain cat who's a friend to a certain brother.
Feeling a bit called out there.
So
Friendly advice that so far has turned out to be pretty fucking accurate.
you guys gonna head upstairs?
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
All ingredients
Yes.
head upstairs? Okay.
Yep, back to plate. Head up.
Yep.
Grab my little mantis guy.
It just skitters up your arm to your shoulder.
Go get.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my shoulder.
Helps her face with breakfast and then heads upstairs after the rest.
You go upstairs. Augie's face looks like she's wearing war paint, but it's
Hi.
actually food.
Cayenne has grabbed as many strawberries as she could. So one of her pouches is probably bleeding.
As you're heading upstairs, Cayenne, do a perception for me.
That's a 15.
A 15. As you watch your siblings head upstairs, you kind of, your ears kind of perk up a little, and you smell something. You kind of turn around, and you look over, and you see actually the bartender actually slide over like this like chilled type of drink to a gnome, and it kind of smells like alcohol and strawberries.
Strawberry daiquiri.
I'll probably ask the barmaid to grab one on my way up if I
All
can.
right. She gives you one, and you head upstairs.
Yep.
And that's exactly what it is.
Strawberry daiquiri.
Cayenne's new favorite drink.
But strawberry daiquiris are really good. Sorry.
She'll be sipping that little by little up while going upstairs.
Yep. And you guys eventually do find yourselves back in your room.
I'm looking out the window and make sure that one particular individual has not followed me.
You're terrified.
Oh, I don't like him.
Go ahead and do a survival for me.
You guys probably think I'm crazy doing this too, huh? That's a modified 20.
You look out the window, and Scabbard for once is just like a statue, and he's just almost like just scanning everything, and he just goes to the door and he checks the door too, and it's clear.
You close it and
Do
lock it.
something, Scabbard.
A little paranoid there.
What happened?
What'd you do?
What did you do?
It's
What
not
broke?
what I did, it's what someone else did. So, I made my way through the city. Found these neat little passageways. They're like tiny for like smaller people.
I found those too. That was so cool, wasn't it?
They're really helpful.
First time you're hurrying in this Mongo.
Yep.
But I also made my way out through the forest a bit and went over to where the mines are to try and learn a little bit more about our boulette situation. And it turns out that these mines are a lot like, I guess the quartermaster described it as kind of like an anthill. It's a lot of winding paths, a lot of tunnels, probably a lot of dead ends. But this boulette essentially goes about. It does not look like it ever leaves the actual mine itself. I looked around the area. There's no signs of anything that makes it seem like it comes out. But there's also a really weird individual out there that's, I don't know, it's very, very scary. They call themselves what was it? A knoll.
A knoll?
Yes, this really really tall, very creepy creature. Had a couple of very large, I think they were wolves with them. I don't know. That's gave me very bad vibes.
Very bad vibes from Fungal.
They were talking about how they were upset that they couldn't get into the mines to deal with this situation because they're not allowed, since I guess we have the contract. But I don't know how I feel about this individual. They made me feel very paranoid.
Well, whether they say or do that made you feel paranoid.
One came off very creepy and very, very scary, very dangerous. Another, they had stated that they had in fact eaten other kobolds like myself.
How's it feel?
Not that great.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. I don't like that individual.
Well,
certainly did not feel safe around there.
well, you say he's dangerous. I would assume you mean dangerous. That's because they said they've eaten more of your kind before. They're probably not that dangerous of an individual if you speak to them.
I don't know. I didn't really feel safe there. And the guards were also very nervous about them too. I think we lost Kelly audio.
Sorry, when I sneezed earlier, I muted.
Oh.
But she'll clasp him on the head and just gently say, "We'll protect you, little brother."
I'm more worried about all of you.
Oh, please. Bunch of gangly-looking, scary men. That doesn't sound too bad.
True, when shit hits the fan, just duck behind the sisters.
We did take care of a couple of scary monsters ourselves, haven't we?
Yeah. Are the rest of you going to share anything?
What'd you do today, Mongo?
Oh, just kind of walked around, talked to a few people.
Talked to a few people. Okay. Nothing interesting.
Not too much. Found out about a couple of spells.
Oh yeah? Like what?
It turns out somebody somewhere got the right idea to, well, you know when we lit the barrels on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big boom that it made?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, somebody made a spell that can do that.
Well, that's convenient.
Would have been really handy. And
you know
then
that
saw
spell now?
somebody make a wall of dirt, which also would have been really handy. So I'm kind of thinking that as soon as we get this bullet situation sorted out with, well, you remember that invitation I got a while ago when we first got here?
Invitation?
That one for the wizard school, right?
Yeah.
Over in Willowfall? I think I need to go there after this.
Can certainly make the trip.
Because while I have learned a great deal more about the pointy hats here than we did back home, other than hearing about what ones can do, I don't think I can actually learn how they do it unless I go over there first. Which, speaking of said bullet, I did happen to wander by the Tinkerers Guild. And your little gnome friend,
Yeah.
whose name I don't remember, I had this little contraption called an alarm clock.
An alarm clock?
Mm-hmm.
What does an alarm clock do? Right, so alarm clock, so it makes noises on time?
Kind of.
Oh, interesting. Why would you want your clock to make noises?
That's not what I wanted for.
Okay.
Sounds like a perfect way to wake you up and tell you when to go home.
Actually, yes. That does seem rather handy. We'll have to get two of them. Because the other one probably isn't going to survive if my idea works.
What are you up to? I don't like it when you use that tone. Bad things happen all the time when you
That
use
is
that tone.
not entirely accurate.
You are scheming something, and that makes us all worry.
It worked the last time.
I died.
Yeah, we all almost did.
But I died. Cayenne saved me.
You were unconscious. Like you drank too much alcohol again, or any
My back
alcohol
was
again.
Actually, I'm with Mongo on this one. You do understand that dying, unconscious, and sleeping are three very different things, right? You know that, right, Scav?
I think so. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, okay. Well,
We'll get that one later.
In his defense, none of us have died before, so a basis of comparison is a little hard to get.
Look, all I remember is a big loud boom, a lot of pain, and then I was suddenly awake.
That's about how it works. But remember,
He's not wrong.
Yeah, not wrong on that.
But you remember the thing that I asked you guys to put together?
The exploding arrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Think you can knock together another one of them, just without the arrow part.
I think I know what you're thinking. And
Well, how are you going to deliver it?
Oh, I hope not.
I think I know exactly what you're thinking.
Do you have to
But
rebuild his ballista thing?
No.
I don't know if that would work because I don't remember how we made it.
I've got the plans.
Thank you.
Oh, thank God.
Do you think I make stuff without making plans?
You've done it before.
No, I haven't.
So, you guys proceed through the rest of the night, talking back and forth, going around in circles about this. You, Cayenne, are starting to get a headache because the troublemakers are plotting again. Augie, you as well are starting to feel the pain of Cayenne as they begin to come up with a plot.
But it's okay because Augie found a rock.
A rock. Augie found a rock, huh?
No,
Is Augie chewing on this?
no. It's the same rock.
Oh,
I'm
the
just
same
making
rock.
a joke. No, I'm just rubbing her temples. As long as you boys are passing this by the rest of the group when you're scheming, please pass this by the rest of the group while you're scheming. Please.
Actually, Augie, this plan might
I hate those
require.
words. Go ahead.
This plan might require a bit of your smithing expertise.
Oh,
Yeah, he's not wrong. It's really a group effort.
And Cayenne, this might actually need your help too. Quite a bit, actually. Because
The look on Cayenne's face.
from what the quartermaster said, this boulette might be very vulnerable to very explosive and volatile stuff.
And I'm supposed to help with that how?
No,
That
you are
new
not
spell
going
you
to like
learned
this part.
to use your whips and such?
Hey, go ahead.
Well, so the thing that I was thinking of, we knocked together another one of the rather big boom devices. Integrate the alarm clock so that it'll go off at a certain time. And then the only thing is you just get it onto something that we can have walk into the mine and get the bullet to chomp down on. Not you. We're not going to put it on you.
Oh, like a cow or something?
That, or
Well,
she could use her vines
think
to make
a
a lot of
poisoned
noise.
cow.
So,
yeah, we're not sending her in there.
No, she can use it.
So, with the notion of the gang, the family now deciding. Now, with the notion of the family deciding to possibly blow up a cow and Cayenne dreading the next couple of days, we're going to go ahead and call it there for the night and let the Munchkin scheme and the sisters cry into their pillows. Or get very, very drunk to forget the scheming.
I can take you to that place I found, guys.
We're going to call it for the night. We're going to thank everybody for joining us within the tavern tonight, despite the technical difficulties we're having.
We'll get them figured out.
And we hope to see you guys next week. We're really excited to start to get things on the road. This was a bit of a slower take tonight. A lot of character development, one-on-ones. But next week, we're going to be picking up the pace. We're going to get this poor cow rolling down a hill into the mines.
To eventual
All right.
possible victory.
All right, say goodnight, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a
All
great
right.
weekend.
Thank
You
you.
have a
See
good
you next
night.
time.
Thank you.
Everybody. Thanks for
Like
watching.
and subscribe.
Be sure to check out our Twitter and also our Discord.
Yes, please.
Join us in our off days. Have a good night, everyone.